arms around me. I've been putting on my fake smile, even though I'm wasting time. I don't wanna be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest when I'm not. I just wanna go my own way, gonna let the past burn down. Cause honestly, don't wanna be stuck in boring conversations with you. With you, I'm gonna leave it all behind, find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. 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 I'm on my way now.
Welcome back to another Ab Nation Live Tonight show with hockey coach, Joe Coach Franchise directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to Toronto to find out the co-host, Mr. ENORATP, back in the house on the Sunday night.
Hello, Coach. How are you? Hockey Nation.
What a great day of hockey. Great weekend. 9 games on the program today. We're going to go through something up and down. Something should win, they lose. Something should lose, they win. It's a crazy compared to last night. Every team have to tank. They tanked last night, Mr. Top, for the Montreal to Columbus to everyone. Every one of them are tanking last night. But today it's not the case. It's something surprise. It's something preparing the momentum of the playoff. Where are they? Where are they? The Maple Leafs, what are you doing over there? Toronto Maple Leafs, the time the Tampa Bay is preparing right there. Be careful. But we'll see what happens. Mr. Natap, we're going to hear what your comments. Today, Mr. Natap, tonight, depends how you want to see it. I want to show this to you because painful to watch the last couple of games for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going to talk about this. He was not very happy about the game last night, this fan at the Bell Center. For the first time of the year, Mr. Natap, we heard some boo. Not that one, Mr. Natap. Not that one, Mr. Natap. I don't know where is it now that my boo anymore, but it is what it is. I don't know what's my boo
That's
anymore.
okay. Here, I'll do it. Boo!
I know, it's like crazy. I don't know what's my boo about the fact it's laughing. Anyhow, it is what it is. And that's happening at the Bell Center last night. We'll talk about fun thing for the Montreal Canadiens, a couple news around the team a little bit, and then 5 games to go. We're going to go through those activities, what's going on. We have a few people in that chat. First of all, we want to thank everybody. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. If you don't mind, that'd be great. And let's start in with, less further ado, to welcome directly from Arizona, Mr. ENORATP, sit and the balcony watching the Hockey Nation. Mr. ENORATP talking about Larry Lavalley is in the house tonight, Mr. ENORATP. Thanks so much to be
Larry.
with us tonight. I have a Dryden jersey that I bought at the Forum a long time. I love wearing it as a social occasion. Ken Dryden jersey, Mr. ENORATP, number 29. How about that? The captain, Danny T. He is back in the house, Mr. ENORATP. He closed the tavern is closed on the weekend, the Sunday. So
Oh, Danny, give it up.
that's happening about that. Why not welcome back directly from Montreal, ready to rock and roll tonight. The road runner, the number 12, Gary Cournoyer is in the house.
Hello, Gary. Welcome.
And Larry is in great shape. And Melissa directly from Detroit, winning right now, 3-1.
Hey, Melissa, those Red Wings.
Welcome back in the house. Francois Pitre is in the house. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Francois.
You're absolutely about this. The painful right now, but in the first one, the things going well. Ce qu'on a cette vachement better que Esposa Edwarden. But I think it's because he was trying to create some kind of mindset game, possible. I don't know. Montreal is going in the right direction with Hugo from François Pitt. To hear that. Glad to hear that. Jake McEnway, Mr. Top, is in the house.
Hey, Jake, how's it going?
What
How about those Jets?
what about our RG Calabro, Mr. Todd, the man of the man? They always gave out update, want to tell the people what to do and everything like that. Is a really big asset, Mr. Todd. On walk behind the
Welcome,
scenes.
RJ.
When you build a team, you need people behind the scenes. Sometimes he's one of them, Mr. Todd. Without him, this shot would not be the same. So we want to tell him thanks so much, RG Calabro, for what you do at the Hockey Nation Show. Are you agree with me in that?
Oh, 100%. 100%, Coach.
Well, we have to go to Winnipeg because Colette just finished wash the laundry right now as she prepare for the Monday. But during the time, Dan is sit watching the Hockey Nation. Dan Asham and Colette Asham for Winnipeg and Manitoba.
Good evening, Dan.
And
I'm sure he's glued to the
Nat
TV.
Lafont, after a big weekend, prepare for the week. She's maybe in the move to go somewhere else and to moving out of the Montreal area. So, Nat, we wish you the best. Thanks to stop by, say hi. Hopefully, you will come the likes.
Hey, Nat, how's it going?
We have a triple W, but we have the double T, and we talk about him all the time. The double T is back in their house. Terry, welcome back.
Welcome, Terry.
We call him the LH because he's the right man, L and Son. Thanks to be with us tonight. Another great supporter of the channel, Mr. Natap, the LH. Thanks to be with us tonight.
Welcome, LH.
Here we go. Our friend from Sweden, Finland. We never know which country he is. Depends on the situation. But one thing we want to welcome back. And Nicholas, always great question, always great knowledge about hockey, Mr. Natap.
Welcome, Nicholas.
Here we go. That's what we said. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, but maybe not him. But no pain, no gain for the abs. You're absolutely about that. They are all right now at the gym and try to figure out what's going to happening. But you're absolutely about that. From that friend for Ottawa, Mr. Top. Claude Richard.
Whoa.
We have to go Edmonton to welcome back Mr. Andy Kuivula.
Hey, Auntie.
Rick Bengal back in the house, directly from Halifax. Had a great weekend of QM hockey. He won with Demetra. Don't worry about the Maple Leaf.
Sir Rick. I don't know, Sir Rick. I don't know.
The one thing they are good about this one is that they are consistency. They lose at the first round.
Yes.
So that's why I'm not worried about them right now. Just kidding, Rick. Rick, thanks for your email. Now, Rick, I want to mention this because he sent me an email about the 39 game, 40 game. We talked this morning about that. The article you talk about is 2015. 2-3 years later, the NHL changed the rules, Rick, and that's what happening about that. So what I can mention to you, but it was a great article in 2015. What you sent to me, I read it, but the rule change now. It's confirmed. When a player does not play, but he's out to scratch, it counts as a game. That's what he's going to lose 1 year of eligibility. But it's good to have people try to teaching me, and that's what I'm looking. That's what I love that channel, Mr. Tap. People do their try to helping us left and right. So, what about KLS, Mr. Tap? Better Detroit Red Wing fans.
Hey, Clump Sauce, how are you?
Terry says Boo Birds showing up. The Boo Bird. So top, I walked around Thailand last night, and
it's all good, Terry.
We went
along Thailand.
We went to get some food left and right, and when you put all the chicken, you turn the chicken like that.
The rotisserie.
Yeah.
Rotisserie. Yeah.
But you have a roast like this for the birds. Yeah. And for three of them, it costs you $100. $100. 100 baht. So about $2.58 or 79. And she tried to let me eat bird, but I did not do it. She did for me, but not. I cannot eat bird.
Did they have it Did they have any penguins on there?
I don't know, but yeah, there's some kind of it's just kind of bird like legs. I don't know. It was really strange to see that. I did not make a video when she eat it, but I make a video about how they cook it. About that. So anyhow, very strange
As
about
long as
that.
you don't
I bought
start
a pair
flying
of shoes,
afterwards,
Mr.
you're
Top, for
okay.
$7 last night.
Oh boy.
I know.
You need shoes in Thailand? I thought you could go barefoot.
Everything is fine, funny here, but let's see what happened, everybody. We try. Alexandre Meilleur is in the house.
Alexander, how are you?
Maybe
Don't worry,
the point behind that,
Alexander.
Mr. Natal, the painful to watch it. We never said it was about the Hockey Nation like show. Luciano Graziano is in the house.
Hey, Luch, how's it going?
The Jets are winning 4-0. Lot opening intro. Here we go. We love this. 007 from Ottawa again. Vinny James is in the house.
Vinny,
What
the
about
man.
Roger Bouchard? Move out one way to another. All the ad
Hey,
players, they are
Roger.
passionate. This is the top priority. Well said, Mr. Butch. We're going to talk about this. Roger Delaney, Mr. The Top, back in the house.
Roger the Master. Welcome.
A lot of people come back to say hi to everybody. Well, not to finish this introduction with Willie Snyder. Welcome back in the house, Willie.
How's it going, Willie?
Anyhow, so that's what we got, Mr. Natap. And that was the first thing we talked about. I don't know the NHL race is still there, but we talk about the NHL. Let's talk apps. Painful to watch, Mr. Natap. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about that? What you saw during the week, but first of all, how difficult it is to see. And I refer that, Mr. Natap, because you have the controversy Sean Farrell at the beginning of the week, when it was not really a controversy, but maybe it was bigger.
No.
Controversy about that, what he was expected about this. And then after that, you got a meeting Thursday morning at the middle of the ice, and when Martin St. Louis point Gordon and Ken Hughes tell the players they want to win tonight, and they want to win, beat the Panthers. That was the mission of Martin St. Louis. And as a coach, you like to finish the practice with a little short speech, 1 minute, 2 minutes. You don't want to hang in there 5 minutes, but just a 2-3 minutes to motivate them and to give them purpose, the reason they played tonight. And they was expected that one there. And honestly, did not show up. 3-2 now for the Toronto for the Detroit Mission Tap with 14 minutes to go. Could probably go with Morgan Riley score. So that's happening. And then last night again, Carolina, it was worse at the Panthers happening without Savard and RHP. But Martin St. Louis a little bit discouraged last night at the press conference. He take it the way it is, but he did not like the response of the two players of the two games they play against them. And then I was mentioned to you Thursday, and we did a show Friday night. Is it Friday or I don't know? At some point we said maybe Thursday.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I said Montreal play. They look fatigued. They look tired. They look now. They don't no energy. They don't want to respond, and they are really at the bottom, and they are now already out of the season. And they are not the only one, by the way. But you can see right now they have some kind. So that's what the people who boo last night. Martin St. Louis was that great. They should boo again us. We did not show up. We did not play very well last night, and this is a back-to-back game, and I don't see what's going to look like the 5 next game when you play against other team. But I just want to have your 2 cents about that. Painful to watch.
I think you can't look at the whole season in just small clippets, and I think that's what we're doing right now. And then the media too is running away with social media as well, looking for any kind of story to grab onto, just because it raised interest and people start talking about it. And I'm thinking about there was the story about Gordon, there was the story about the wins and the losses, and should Farrell play or not. And we're making more out of it than we should. I think at the end of the day, you have to look at it in its entirety. And when you look at Montreal and you compare it to what they had last year, we've come a long way. we've improved so far by 20 points from last year. And that's not an easy feat to do from one year to the other. Yes, you can make the argument we were at the bottom of the barrel last year. And so any improvement, of course, is going to happen. But still, 20 points is 20 points. And if we can get anywhere near that again next year, I mean, it's hard to judge at this stage because we don't know what's going to happen this summer, how they're going to draft, whether they win the lottery or not. But I think the essential pieces are in place. You look at their prospects, and we have quite a few very good prospects that are making their way up, if not next year, the year after. You look at, what we've been talking about all year in terms of developing a culture of winning, and I think they did that. And I think they did it to the peril of them not getting a better draft pick this year. But that's okay, because that had to be built, and you had to instill that in the players, and you have to want them to come every day to play and play hard for you, right? And I think those things are all done at this stage. It's just a snapshot that these last 5 to 10 games, including the ones that just recently got played. And what you're seeing is a team that's tired, they're fatigued, there's nothing to play for. They also don't want to start winning, and all of a sudden they're out of 5th place, and all of a sudden they find themselves either in 6th or 7th. That's not a victory to me. So the right things are happening. I think a lot of players have mentally checked out as well, especially ones that maybe know they're not going to be with the team next year, and they might be free agents this summer. The last thing they want to do in the last 5 games is risk an injury that might affect their future. And you can't play that way. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. I mean, just the fact that after 50 shots last night, we hung in and still were there at 3-0, is a compliment in itself. But, I think you have to look at the whole picture. And I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. They've played a good year. They've put together some key successes along the way. And hopefully that continues into the summer.
Great point about that. But what the reason the fans booed last night?
Well, I think that's more a reflection. Maybe somebody buys tickets, 2-3 months ago, and they expect to come and see a very good game at the Bell Center, and they're not getting that. And they have the right to boo. They pay quite a bit of money to get those tickets. And at the very least, maybe it's not the losing that causes the boo, it's the effort or lack of.
Exactly. That's exactly my point here. That's exactly the word I'm looking for, effort. We want to, as the Montreal Canadiens, compete. They are 4-10-2 in March. Until last night, right? You don't hear anything negative a lot. Like, you do not, whatever we go through the many losses during, they still, they have maybe 2 games they really play bad, but the fans are always been there, and they continue to cheer for them, or they compete every game. They like the effort. They have something. But last night, you see a team really did not show up a lot. Like, not a lot. Without Montebo, yesterday 7-0. Like,
easily. Yeah.
It's easy 7-0. So the people was upset. And that's the reason I said it's painful to watch. You look about the Florida Panthers, 1-1 the first period, but it was not an amazing, great period. But again, 2 goals after that, 3-1, they shut him down. Like, they dropped their hands down, and they put the white flag up, and that's it, that's all. And if you look about Philadelphia Flyers, went only 3-2 the Flyers, but you see the bad play, like Hoffman, like lazy it can be. And that's what those kind of situation piss off the fans. And that's what you get the boo last night, because the effort, they want, at least they have an effort to show up, and they give something and entertaining without that. The last 5-7 game, I would say to you, is boring. Now, how many times we said this is a boring game? This is not like, what I mean? Like, Monday was great to see that, right? They beat the Columbus last Saturday 8-2. It was fun to see that. And we don't see
but
this
it was
anymore.
Columbus.
I think I have a great comment from Gary, said the HABS are at the end of the road, but pure is simple. And I would say to you, Mr. Natap, we missed 2 players last night, the RHP and the Savard. And
Savard,
what they
yeah.
bring on the table, they block shot, right? There is the one area, both of them are really good about that one. RHP bring energy, but it creates situation for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't say because of them they're going to win, but you're never going to have a team like gave 50 shots last night with Savard RHP. You're not going to see Montreal Canadiens shooting only 15 shots and the Montreal net with RHP Savard. I think it was two piece of the puzzle it was missing with everything we don't have right now. And I think at the end of the day, Mr. Antep, we don't have anybody to watch anymore. Like, who make
No, I
you
know.
excited to watch right now? You lose everyone. Like Jekai, Sakoski, Caufield, Dach. At the beginning, it was
Well,
sometime the money, and after that, so you're losing a lot of attraction to go to watch the game or to watch the game on the TV or go to the game and watching them. We lose everything. The Detroit Red Wings on top score 4-2. So I don't know if you
Winnipeg
agree
could.
with me when I mentioned about that. Like and it's not a time anymore to develop. It's not a time to change the culture. It's not the time to evaluate players. It's just the time to. Is it over yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the way. That's what is painful to watch. It's not going to be better for the next 5 games on that type,
No.
because it's not going to create a lot and without knowing about what's going on. And it's more exciting right now. Like Rick is a big fan of that, and some of you love. It's watching now the Laval Rocket. It's going to watching next weekend the NCAA Hudson and talk for the Boston University. And those kind of stuff, the next couple of weeks, guys, is going to be the World Championship under 18 years old. Let's go to watching that. And then what about the next thing? May 8th, Mr. Tap. How about that? By the way, Mr. Tap,
Yeah.
next week, April
Yeah.
13th, at the end of the season of the NHL. This is a new year in Thailand. So have another new year now in April. So big festivity weekend, the 13, 14, 15 here. And
What is that? 3 in 1 year?
something like that. I don't know anymore. Like it look like anyway, and it's holiday anyway every weekend here. But that's a subject for the time, Mr. Tap. So yeah, that's what I don't know what you feel about what I just said about the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's the other thing we neglected to talk about is the fact that they're full of injuries, and it's hard to win for any kind of team, let alone a team that's at the bottom of the standings when you have your main players out of the lineup, and now Savard's out too the rest of the year, so they're gonna feel it on defense.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. We have a great comment. Not next season. Terry, talk about this next year. Sébastien Vigneault, knock the door. Welcome back. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. We appreciate a lot. Try to get, if I other people, knock the door. And LA should have finished poorly last year. Normal for a no-playoff team. Would expect more effort from player on the bubble. Yeah, that's honestly, we talk about this. And Mike Sabit this year with development young player from Terry. Absolutely right. The triple W is in the house, Mr. Natap. Welcome back. And then Zadorov score, Mr. Natap. The game between the Ducks and the Flame is 3-3 now. The Flame came back for after a deficit of 3-2.
2-0, man.
Or maybe
Yeah,
3-2
like
now.
that.
It's 3-3. I know. 3-3 now.
It's 3-3. Yeah.
Unanimous salvage. Nicholas, what bugs me the most is Sakoski injury. Not really need to play a lot this season. Yeah, that's one. That's one happening for the Montreal Canadiens. David Savard, AG gave us some information there. Coach Wash is in the house. Sebastien, yep, the triple W is in the house, Mr. Tap. About that, there is many potential moving forward next season. I like the positivity of the people. Nicholas Savard, warrior all the time this year, been defensive beast. He really responded. He really come back this season, Mr. Nata. What do you think about David
Yes.
Savard?
Oh, well, he definitely was the mainstay on defense for the most part. Not only what he did in terms of his play, but also his leadership, because you had just about an entire defensive corps core that was all rookies. Because Edmondson was out much of the year, and even though Matheson was in and out, I mean, he doesn't have the experience that Savard has, and I think he did a great job just settling them down and allowing them to do their own part.
Yeah, 6-0 the Jets against the New Devils, Mr. Tap. 6-0.
I'm not going to say anything. You
All
know who
right.
scored? You know who scored?
For the Jets, Connor Eller, Niddy Raider, Pierre-Luc Dubois. First goal, the
Who?
last 10 game, I believe.
You had to add that part, didn't you?
Is the season set 10 game or so long, and your opinion?
What was the question? Sorry, I missed that.
Do you think the season is a little bit too long, like 10 game too much, or do you feel like you have too many games?
Yeah, absolutely. It's long, especially for the top notch teams that are going to go far in the playoffs. Like you figure you're if you make it all the way to Stanley Cup Finals and you go through 6-7 game series along the way, you're playing close to 100 games. That's a lot of hockey, and it's not a sport where you can float around. Like you have to bring it every single game, especially in the playoffs, and it takes a toll on your body. And nowadays, it's not like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, where pretty much the summer you were off, and then you worried about it back in September in terms of getting back into shape. Like these athletes are going year long, year round training. They're getting prepared for the next season, and the body needs some rest as well. And that's maybe why we're seeing the number of injuries that we're seeing throughout the NHL the last 2 or 3 years is, the body just shutting down at some points.
You're absolutely right about that. Great comments. We have Mr. Eagle Frank is in the house, Mr. That long time we did not talk to him.
Hey, Eagle.
Thanks to be with us
Welcome.
tonight. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like if you don't mind. Sean McIntyre always brings some. Sean Gary is a great knowledge about hockey. I just like what his comments all the time. As such, his friend one Dach is on the ice on the lineup. Maybe the app, the most important player for controlling the game. One is in the play so good.
Absolutely. He's so big. He can hang on to that puck, but he just brings that presence to not to his line, only to himself, but to the entire line. That it opens up space for everybody, and he's starting really get physical as well, and he gets in front of the net. Very good hands as well. You can tell he likes being here in Montreal. He's absolutely right. They miss him out there.
I think I would add for what Sean said. A player like him, we want as a team, guys, to have that kind of the puck position, right? Control the puck, keep the puck on your team, and not the opponent team, and don't leave the puck there. That's what Kirby Dach bring on the table. And I'm just calling on top 4-3 against the Flames at that moment. So that'll give you an idea what's going on for the Kirby Dach. I think he's a great asset for the Montreal Canadiens. It's another 22 years old that could have a great future for Montreal. It could be, Mr. Tap, for the next 10 years. That trade with Chicago going to be the biggest trade for Canadiens.
Absolutely. It could very well be.
Absolutely right about that. Not a problem. We all pray for the lottery in our Eagle for sure. For my part, I still have fun watching
We're good. We're
at
good,
the ski
Fiegel.
season and RHP. It can play well for next contract. I'm still happy when they are play. I agree with you about this, Alexandre. When I said painful, it's just like we want effort. We want players step up. We want the player play at their best all the time, and they still compete. Last night was not compete at all. He's just hanging there. There was just 5 yellow count moving, and that's it. That's my opinion about the Montreal Canadiens. So it was very painful. In my opinion, this one the worst game I never see for Montreal. Since I watched Montreal Canadiens. Like, that was really bad. You have a couple of games like that last year, but this year was maybe one of the worst, in my opinion, for that one over there.
The Florida one was pretty bad too.
Yes. Roger, I'm glad I canceled my individual packet for the rest of the season. But going close the game, I attended much neat vacation. Then we have a few people talk each other. Wow, Jets. But when the HABS season is done, my season is done. Here we go. About Bush. Mr. Christian Shaw is in the house, Mr. Zap.
Welcome, Christian.
Here we go. Rick Einline is in the house. Thank God the Pens won today. Yes, a big W for them. Now they're back again over the Florida Panthers with that W. Minnesota by 1 point. They have the same kind of the number of the game for both of them. And then the Pittsburgh won by score 4-2, if I can recall it. And empty net at the end again, the Flyers. They was winning 3-0. Flyers come back with 2 goals.
Yeah.
And then they win a Flyers score 4-2. So they have to get there.
And the Islanders lost. And the Islanders
lost at the same time, so that's no big deal. The Devils just scored a goal in the center tap on 13 seconds remaining of the game to take off the shootout.
I needed
okay,
that
we quit. See you next year. François Pitt, Roger is the world system, Houghton, Eto Money on Gray. Mission and Nishkov, Zuski, Caufield for Christian Shaw. 4-3. I thought you could pick it up if you think here. I think overall the app gave us good hockey considering a horrible year. It's absolutely right. Like, it was not painful to watch all year long. It was just painful to watch the last couple of days, right? And we're going to see a show the next couple of weeks where we're going to talk about reviewing the season and everything like that. So as a hockey fans for Montreal Canadiens, we have to be pleased about the development, what they bring on the table, the team culture, the foundation, and many players have an amazing, great season, whatever they not play all the game, or they gave us some kind of the bright the future for the Montreal Canadiens, some lights for them with, some kind of player like Jekai, one of them, Kirby Dach, another one of them. Montembeault, we have to consider him very one, have a step up for the Montreal Canadiens this season. I can go a little bit more deeper. The 26 goal of Caufield this year with the Montreal would only play half the season. And the development was very good for it. But Pierre Martin is in the house. Welcome back, Pierre Martin. Thanks to be with us tonight. And I'm just checking. The team roster right now is irrelevant. I'm sorry about that one over there. 6-1. Alexandre Meilleur, that would be a great 2-3 years so far. Alan Barnes, Mr. Tap, is in the house.
Welcome, Alan.
Francois said the 70% of the roster play right now won't be there in 2 years.
70% sounds a bit high. I would adjust that to maybe 50.
Yeah, because here what we got here, guys. Not here. Caufield, Suzuki, Anderson, Gallagher, Dach, Hoffman, Sakoski, Dvorak, Armia, and Evans. I'll be sure in 2 years, Caufield, Suzuki will be there. Gallagher, because this contract will be there. Dach will be there. And Sakoski will be there. That give you right there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost the half of the, maybe Anderson be there too. So maybe the half of the 50% of the lineup will be right there.
The forwards.
I think Adam Montembeault will be there. That's one of them. And then defensively, Cooley will be there. Madison will be there. Jacka will be there. Barron will be there. Iris should be there. That give you 5 of them already. Put at 4. So after the team will be there for Francois for what we see. This is just a quick, because this will bring another subject later, but I just want to share it with you about that. How can Ad move up in this draft, or should they not try, Mr. Natap?
Well, it's going to be hard to move up, unless they're going to. I mean, the only thing I was bringing up this morning on the brunch was the fact that if let's just say for argument's sake, San Jose gets the 4th pick and Montreal has the 5th. If that Michkov is still available by the time San Jose's pick comes, would you make a move with San Jose to try to get that 4th pick? Now, if somehow San Jose is going to pass over him, you don't do it, obviously, because you're going to pick it up. But maybe, if you throw in a prospect plus your 5th pick to get their 4th,
they will request you the Panthers pick.
Then I wouldn't do it. But if they asked for a prospect that's not top notch,
the only thing they could go is maybe the 2nd round pick from Montreal, the number 37.
Yeah. Okay. that's maybe it's worth it. It depends how they value, having Mitchkov, and if they're willing to gamble on that. Personally, I think he might fall to fourth or fifth, just because of the situation. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the only thing I would say to you is the difference between Will Smith or someone close to Mitchkov, it's not too much at long term, right? So, in my opinion.
No, I think there is, Coach. I think Mitchkov, if he was playing here in Canada or the United States, I think this guy would be back and forth with Bedard for first or second, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course,
he's
of course, of
cleared
course.
talent wise. I think he's up there. He's got a little bit more height than Bedard as well. I'm not saying he's better, but he comes a close second to him. So he would have been gone early if he was playing in North America or anywhere else for that matter. It could be, in Finland,
Larkin score,
Sweden,
Mr.
Sweden.
A hat trick again at Toronto Maple Leafs, scoring an empty net. The game is over for Toronto. It's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay. It's
that's
okay.
okay. The
Great
bigger
point about that.
the bigger
For
news
Mitchkov.
the bigger news is that Murray got injured in that game. I don't know if you saw it. Lucas Raymond fell and slid right into the goalie, and then I don't know if it's a serious injury or not, but I guess their Dubas decision or Keefe's decision in terms of who he's going to start in the playoffs might be made for him.
Point behind that, Mr. Natab, when you talk about moving up, I was thinking more for me, not Mitchkov or for the fifth, but more like the player for the Panthers. I think if the Panthers are 17, 18, 19, and you want to reach 12, 13, you can give the second round pick and return, or a prospect and return. I think Montreal should consider that. They still have a good pick at 12, 13, 14 if you pick 2019, 2021 on that draft. That would be something I would consider me more at number 4 and 5.
I hear you.
So that's what we got. Edmondson, very good player. He keep going the way he is. Just might be the other winger for Ski and Dach. I think he may be a huge threat as well. Dach is a rocket. He have a great rocket for sure. I really like his play. Obviously, this year I didn't watch many games of Sweden, but I really like the way he played with Montreal during the main camp. And obviously, he got hurt during the exhibition game. But it's not, I think it's a 6'2", I can recall it. It's a good body, and now he produces with the Laval Rocket. He take opportunities, and again, he open that's what you're looking for, right? You want a rookie like him open up some eyes over there for the following year for sure. The Tonight Show, the Mr. Jets won Mr. Natap 6-1. The Toronto lost 5-2. The Kings 2-1 after 40 minutes, and almost at the end of the second period is 4-3 Anaheim again Calgary Flame. Good news, KK has a goal, and Puljer Javi have an assist today for the Carolina Hurricane. That's great to see that. For that, Coach.
His first point.
Yep. I heard Jeff Gordon will be gone soon. What do you think about that?
Not happening, Wish. No, it's pretty much been quashed by many. That was just Kyprios being Kyprios, I believe. I'm not saying that he doesn't have good sources. Obviously, he's in the fold, but it's not happening.
Calgary gave 4 goals and 17 shots.
Who's in net, Markstrom?
Yeah, I think so. I did not see the goalie yet. But I was thinking about the roster that is played right now, not counting injury players. Oh, yeah, Francois, you're absolutely right about that. I agree with you. All that they have no second line to all that right now. Any word on one end if he's still alive?
Yeah, I believe he's still alive.
Yeah, I think for me this is the end for him with the Montreal Canadiens. I think both parties already resolved there. They told him you don't need to be around right now. You can do because you don't see him all the time around the team, and I think that's the way I see that for the. I think it's Vladar missing a top, but I could be wrong. So
Okay.
I don't think so. Do you like to have Monahan back next season?
That's a good question. You know, I if he's gonna if you can sign him just for 1 year at a much reduced rate, I don't see how that could hurt for a year because we're still going to be in a difficult situation in terms of the rebuild. But if it doesn't happen, and not only that, but then maybe you can flip him at the trade deadline time as well and still get an asset, which was their intent on doing that this year. But I think he has to probably take on a contract where he shows that he can stay healthy. I don't see too many teams biting, even if he goes to free agency. It's a risk with him, and
On the flip side, you don't feel that would be stop the progression of Kirby Dach?
yeah, but you don't necessarily have to put Monahan at center, right? You can put Monahan on the wing.
But now you're going to
Um,
remove a one player like Jesse Allen, Enneman, RHP could be another one. You're going to remove
or
already a
right,
spot
yeah,
of the lineup for
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
the purpose of behind for at the end what or for why. For me, at the middle of the season, I was thinking that way, and then I changed with time and all to see. I think it's time to let it go, and I don't see anything for because we saw players step up. You can see Allen not do bad at all. You see Doc, you see RHP. I think we have better younger team to get
Heineman.
with more
Yeah.
energy, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's not worth investing in a risky situation at this point.
Um, Here we go. Nicholas Long and LH. Is Smith considered a true elite or more a good top six? And then the second
Hmm.
question: has Smith closed the gap compared to Carlson?
I think the tournament coming up will sort of finalize the position of the draftees this year because right now there's been a lot of fluctuation once you get outside of the top five. Uh, but he's definitely in that conversation, being at fifth, sixth, seventh, worst case eighth. But I don't think he drops that much. It's not that he's not a good player. I think he is a very good player, but he doesn't come with a complete game like the top four players do, and that's the difference. So I would say he's maybe not an elite player, or at least he hasn't shown it yet. I mean, his game could still develop to that, but he hasn't shown it to date.
So first of all, for LH, I would say to you, Smith closed the gap compared to Carlson. I would say reverse this. Is Carlson closed the gap because he did not perform since December? So that's reverse about that one there. On the flip side, Smith have an amazing, great tournament with there. I would say to Nicholas, he's a top six definitely. He's going to be a great hockey player, a number of 70 points per season. Another Zuski, a Kirby Dach, and my eyes. Now, can he become a regular center number one? This, we don't know his development. That's one thing. He is similar to Logan Coley with less competitive. I think Coley is a little bit more draft, a playmaker, a driver. He go more and he put his nose and the traffic more. Coley a little bit faster, but not much. But that would be this fun between him and Will Smith. So Smith could be a good hockey player. Now, top six definitely. It's just to see like everybody else mentions that how they can become after that a top three or not, and that's what for Will Smith. We're going to see him next, but he run that team right now with Team National with Oliver Moore, Perrault, and Leonard. Those four are dominating the U18, and it will be interesting watching him this month and the tournament. Great tournament last time, by the way. And
Coach,
then
how do
is
you how do
6 foot.
you how do you compare him to Benson right now?
I'm sorry again.
How do you compare him to Benson right now?
The Benson situation is because it's a 5'9",
Yeah,
and that's
the
what
height.
we already have those many 5'9". Um, fight. It could be another Brendan Point. I know Benson is 5'9", and they consider him as a 5'10". But put them on the bench with anybody else, you're going to see his head a little bit low, lower to other people beside him. But it could become another Brendan Point and NHL Benson. I don't say he will be. It could become that kind of player he is. So that would be interesting to see that. But because Montreal is really, I feel like it would be better to go Will Smith at Zach Benson. But Benson get a great playmaker, great driver too. He can play. He can score. He can play very well. Not much again. Negativity was his big thing is just a little bit smaller player. But again, Bedard, Mishkov, we can go all the way like that, right? It just feel like Montreal should consider. For me, between both of them, I still go with Will Smith. In my opinion.
Okay.
For that. Not sure about that, but yeah, somewhere else missing. The six speed is good. Sifting out danger spot is shot. You're welcome to Triple H for ENORATP. Sean Manette hanging around with the big foot. Francois, yep. Vladar is in the net for Calgary. Damage Manette, great potential, too much injury. I would like to keep for the low. RJ21, thanks so much for the update. Move Manette for the later round pick. They develop that pick. Unfortunately, they don't have to do that. He become a UFA Terry, so you can have. It's not like you can trade him. You could, but the no team will give him anything. Who would be the surprise player that make the HABS at the beginning of the season, Mr. Top?
For next year?
Yeah.
Who would be the surprise player?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's a surprise, but I think I like what I'm seeing out of Heineman lately. So I think he probably stands a good chance, depending on his pregame, or not his pregame, but his exhibition games that he's going to be playing, the training camp and everything, how he performs there. But I like what I'm seeing. He's got the height. He's got a good shot. I don't think it's a surprise as much as it happening as quickly as next year.
Great point about that, right? Have to, Mr. Top. Consider our HP is going to make it. I would go with Owen Beck.
Yeah, that was my second choice as well.
Then I'm going to shocking everybody here. Logan Mailloux.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, if the room is there, I think you're right. I just don't know if it'll be there. And when I say the room is there, we don't know if maybe Montreal is going to deal from a position of strength, in order to get maybe a forward or move in the draft pick, make a trade, whatever the case might be. They might deal one of the younger defensemen, and that would open up the door for Logan Mailloux to come up.
But if you think about this, right, without Whiteman there, without Edmondson, I think Logan Mailloux under David Savard, whatever you don't play 82 games, whatever you give him, you're going to get now Savard, you're going to get Kovacevic, Mailloux, and Barron on the right side. On the left side, you have Jekai, Harris, Madison, Cooley, and that's what you have right there, 8.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, will be interesting. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Sorry, but if Mitt is close to Carlson, then he's edit because Carlson already doing great and excellent player and is pro. He's doing great. I don't say Carlson is not like doing bad. It's just like he does not perform like he was showing at the beginning of the season in Sweden. Now, Smith a little bit behind him, but not like a big gap between both of them. So that's the reason I said to you, a top 6 for Smith. And then after that, I see Carlson, Mitchkov, Fantilli, and Bedard on the first line already. Like, they're going to become first line. Does it make sense? So, the Smith, the Benson, you can get there, or other players around them. That would be the bubble top 6 for Mr. Top.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good player, Brandon Point. He is a Gary, not in my opinion, more like a backstrom, not in the little shoulder like something. What but offensive better okay his time. I really like the way he shift. He very shifty. Carlson, very good man. So, about that, his skating guys is good, but not great. He's just elegant on the ice. Leon Carlson. Corey is in the house. Should the Habs sign Michael Bunting at the offseason? Is an unrestricted free agent, Mr. Tap.
I wouldn't. I think that we're going to have enough of the young kids that are going to fill in the gaps already. So I'd rather stick with our development with
It's
them.
not the right year, I believe, to sign the player UFA, in my opinion.
No.
If the draft is at number 2, you draft Fenty, Carlson, or Mitchkov.
For number two, it's Fantilli. Fantilli for me.
If you pick up number 2, which one you get?
Yeah, Fantilli. I would go Fantilli. I mean, talent-wise, like I said earlier, I think it would be Michkov. But, given the fact that
For what we know
where
tonight, right? For everything we know, which one you get?
Fantilli.
Fantasy. I agree with you about that one over there. Great question about that. I will see up for the AB. Help us get the second pick. Surprise player is Primo and Allen is Drake. Surprise player is Primo and Allen. Florida is currently 14 in the draft. Logan Mayo, Logan power play quarterback. Christian Shot. No Mayo, not yet, please. For my only thing I would say about Logan Mayo at Mr. Tap, I'm a little bit worried about him to stay in the OHL.
Why?
He had nothing to prove anymore there. Once your student become the best of what you do, you better to play at a higher level and to struggle more at play there. And what will be advantage for him to be like a 30 goal next year in OHL and he have one head over everybody else? And yeah, he cannot do box out. I just feel like he need better challenge, in my opinion.
Yeah, he needs a better challenge. I would agree with that, without a doubt. My only concern with Logan, and it's not from my perspective, but what I'm reading a lot on, and that's his treatment that he's going to get in this kind of a media in Montreal, and the fan base. And by that I mean, like, just the other night, I think it was 2 nights ago. I mean, he made a horrific pass up the middle that caused the goal. And you should have seen on Twitter, like, everybody went nuts. This guy's not ready. He's not good. He's overrated. He shouldn't be in the organization. And then later on in the game, he basically skated through the entire team and scored a beautiful goal. And there was no conversation whatsoever. So I just wonder if given his circumstances and the baggage that he brought, which I think, he's more than made up for, is he going to get fair treatment? And if he isn't, how does he stand up against that?
Hey, I would say to you, Mr. Tap, those stuff like that. Always going to have a 10% of fans. They are like that. The 90%, the other 90% are no knowledge about hockey. They know what is right, what is wrong. So for all the people talk negative like that, or they are against those stuff like that, for me, it's like it's not bothering me at all. If he was the general normal people, like we do at the chat, there are most knowledge people here in the chat, and then they blame Mayu for everything like that. That would be a concern. But for me, what I'm very happy is he surround himself. He's going to be surrounded with the great people around him. The Martin Saint Louis, the David Savard, the Mike Madison, the Jake Allen, the veteran, the Gallagher. Everything like that going to surround him to keep the pressure at the lower for him and not be worried about outside of that. But again, he proved it. He can face to the music. He have no problem to disturb him. He continues to go through. He knows. And he learned about that. He followed his course. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. He's going to be always someone who go to remind him that he have to go through this and let him go. And if you could do that, he's going to be fine and playing in NHL. He's going to be a great hockey player. The talent is there, the skill there, the physicality is there, the size is there, the shot is there. Now you develop what you don't have: the skating, the backwards, this zone coverage, but box out, and the details of the game. And you will get there, but you have an amazing, great prospect on your hands. That's what you got with
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what you get there. Some said that GRENIER is the top prospect for the Montreal Canadiens.
Who is it?
They said MEILLEUR is the top prospect for the Montreal Canadiens. Agree or not?
I would right now put him behind maybe Hudson. At this point, I think Hudson's probably our top prospect.
Yeah. To look around, I would say consider him the top 3.
Yeah.
Good evening, Nicolas de Gouby-Bonneau. You're welcome, Nicholas. Samuel to 5K veterans. Development coach Francis Bouillon said MEILLEUR is the next one prospect ready for NHL. There we go. I know because he called me last week, Alexandre. I know. Mr. Real Deal is in the house, Mr. Tappy. We said to you, do you know what Real Deal is going to tell you, Mr. Tap?
What's he going to tell us? The Buffalo Sabres?
Devin Levi, here's the man.
Why not? He looked good.
Obviously, West, he cannot play with the Montreal Canadiens for the last couple of games because right now he's still in the playoff with OHL with the London Knights. I don't know why he did not play this weekend, the team. I don't know I don't know why I didn't see his stat. Side can fight, pass.
2 nights ago, I think he played.
Graded on signed up, free agent, screw up the salary cap. I blame ESPN Plus for Willie Snyder. Subban has the same problem, love and hate. We always did that in Montreal. There's a great point to that. Nick, welcome back in the house. Pierre Martin said, Riley Kidney to Laval, Roy, Montreal et Laval, 2-way contract. But what happening, Pierre Martin, they have already an entry-level contract. So when you have an entry-level contract, Pierre, and for people, that's what I like to do, Mr. Gave the information to people understand. So we have an entry-level contract, Pierre, is the player can go back and forth between Montreal and Laval without we exempt the waiver. So it's automatically a 2-way contract, so you maybe make 800, 900,000 per year with the Montreal Canadiens. When you drop down, it's maybe go to 80,000, 90,000, depends the salary, or 82,000 of that one. So you have an automatically a 2-way contract at PR about those kind of players like a Kidney or what. It's sad that people treat MEILLEUR fairly. Maybe they should trade him just because they have a large part that will all be toxic against him in Montreal. As a part when you make mistake, unfortunately. But the time it will let it go. It will not be 1 year, 2 years, maybe longer. But they will move on if he continues performing like he's supposed. I think Patrick came and shut down what he did at the taxi and the girlfriend, everything like that. You not remember what Patrick came that happening in that day, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that will be the same thing if he becomes that kind of player and NHL. Of course, always someone to pick it up, but
he's done everything that the organization has asked him to do, and he's come through with flying colors. So.
Yeah, absolutely right. RG, thanks so much for the update. MEILLEUR Rock Gogol is in the house. Welcome back. Talking about next year, Coach, about Montreal Canadiens, j'ai décidé to pick up my guy, so we have to deal with it. No time to put him down. He stay out of the trouble. Some fans, no matter what, they are going to find negative on the positive. Gary Wilson. PPM next year, Laval could be full of the great talent, a fun watch, and maybe more fun to the Habs. You know, I think next year Laval will be really a good team overall. You know, remember, Chelios have the same kind of the reps at the beginning. Element is ready for NHL. I think so. I would be a little bit careful about that. We have to wait a little bit longer to see when he's going to play in the NHL. But he showed a lot of great promise with the Laval Rocket right now with 6 goals in the last 6 games. Chile was a stupid thing before we draft him ever after asking Ronnie Corey about that one over there. So, Mr. Tap, the Montreal announced Sabah will be out for the remaining of the season. I heard today, Montreal tried to slip Caden Primo for a second start with the Montreal Canadiens before the end of the season. But the problem is the Laval Rocket battle for the for the playoff. They don't
Yeah.
want to hurt the Laval Rockets, so they will try to figure out when they can use Caden Primo MILESTONES for a second start. Edelman, 6 goals in the last 6 games. We talk about him a lot. The fans like him a lot. But again, guys, great to be excited, but it's great to be wait a little bit more. Don't jump in already on this. We see so many players step up and then they disappear with time. I don't say what the case with Emile, but again, it's another enthusiast moment where another excitement to have another player like him could become a good player for the Montreal Canadiens if everything turns around the right way. Finally, Caufield contract, Mr. Tap. I want to hear from you. 6 year, $9 million. You said to us this morning, you are agree with that.
Well, I saw the source yesterday. I mean, I don't know how much validity you could put into it. Like, you figure at this point he's what, 20? He just turned 22. So if he signs a 6-year contract, that brings him to 28. So that gives him probably one more legitimate contract after that, whether he goes for
I give him 2 years because I think he burned he got 1 year now because he started at 21 years old. Yeah, so don't
that's the problem, and that's the only thing that helps explain the 6 years and not the 8. The money amount, a bit on the high side as far as I'm concerned, but you know what? Goal scorers get paid in the league, and that's what he is for us. Like, if you look at, he's missed what, 30 games so far this year, and he's still our leading goal scorer. That tells you a lot right there. These guys don't grow on trees. They're unicorns. You look around the league. How many 50 goal scorers are there this year? 5 maybe by the end of the year at most, and he's in that kind of conversation, and at the age of 22. So yeah, maybe the 9 million is where it should be. The 6 years, like I said, I think it's just what they're trying to negotiate, so he gets one more big payoff at the end of the 6th year, because it would be harder if he went 8 years and then all of a sudden wanted a larger contract at that point afterwards, because that would bring him possibly to what, 36, 37 years old, and teams don't want to take that kind of a risk.
Yeah. So here's my biggest problem with him about that one there. He had 26 goals and 46 games, but he had only 36 points. So now we're going to pay a guy who can score 45 goals per year and at $9 million. It give you about 65 points, 70 points. This is my only problem I have with him. Where the game his game is not there. Game average per point per game average. I'll give you an example. Pasternak scored 56 goals. He had 46 assists. He had 100 points. That's why he got that money. So Caufield never accomplished that kind of season. Like, he had only an average of Caufield of 0.6, I believe, in NHL. I'll just give you an idea here to be sure and give you what they. You have 84 points, Mr. Natap, at 123. So maybe 0.7, maybe about that.
So are you thinking it's too long, the term on the contract?
Too much money.
Oh, just the money, not the term.
The money. Contract size, I think it can go 5 million, 5 years. I think it would be fine for the Montreal Canadiens. But you're thinking about this Robinson, he has 3 years contract at 7.5. They did the same thing with Pedersen. And
yeah, but you're looking at it from the perspective of Montreal, right? And right now, Suzuki's making 8.1, I believe.
7.8.
At the
7.985. 7.985.
Oh, I thought he hit the 8 million.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, ideally, it would have been nice to see him in and around 8 million. But it's where we're at. It's I don't think you can look at it from the perspective of just total points. There's a number of players in the league that score goals and don't get very many assists. I mean, for a while in his early career, Ovechkin was the same thing. he would put up 40, 45 goals and have like 20 assists. Like if you look at his lifetime stats, there's a huge discrepancy between the number of goals he has and the number of assists he has. So I don't think you can look at it from a total points point of view as much as, can this guy score? And if he can, and he has shown that so far, he's going to warrant that kind of money.
Yeah, but I will give you an example. Kyle Connor, 30 goals almost, 46 assists. Tarasenko, his best year, 35 goals, 35 assists. 33 goals, 33 assists. So they produce point behind the goal. Does it make sense? Like, look at Pasternak. Yeah. I'm talking about the players signing a contract at 22 years old, and they get that kind of money. And that's what I feel like it would be a mistake to give that kind of money, because he cannot reach 1 point per game or almost like a 0.9 or 0.8. He's not there yet. And that's what my biggest concern about that kind of money. You get Tarasenko, he has like 48 assists, 28 assists. He still have more assists at goal. And Tarasenko, we talk about the guy can score 30 goals. He got that kind of contract. I mentioned, I can bring to you, Mr. Tap. I did yesterday, but I can bring to you again here. Still with us, guys. I think it's a great subject to talk about. You know, you talk about Nylander, Boldy, Keller, Tarasenko, Shevnikov. You talk about Kiru, Katchuk. All those guys never signed a $9 million Mr. Tap at 21, 22 years old.
Yeah. I agree.
Sense?
Yeah.
So I think for me, it'll be very interesting.
It is. It's hard to gauge. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to pay him that. I mean, this guy will also. You got to realize he's also he's gonna sell tickets for you, right? He's an exciting player that people will gravitate to. He's going to be the center of the organization. You know, the salary cap is. I know it's not going up a lot. I think it's only maybe $1 million that it's going up next year, but that is going up.
Oh, they have the money. The problem is now you're going to spend your salary cap after that. What the player would bring to you on the table. You give a guy score 45 goals, but he possesses only 65 points, 60 points. Everybody, look, Nylander, 45 assists, 37 goals, 82 points. Like, all the lists I just mentioned to you, they have the same number of assists a point together. And that's why Caufield never reached those kind of number. And that's why you gave him $9 million. What are you going to give the next one, like Kirby Dach? If Kirby Dach get 80 points, like, for me, in my opinion, he should not be over Nick Suzuki right now. The worst case,
I don't disagree. But I mean, he's got a tough agent too, right, in Brisson. So
because now, if you assume he's going to be an 85 point, 90 point, that's another subject. But can he get that guy over there? Can he reach that number? I'm not guaranteed about that. I'll give you the best example is DeBrincat. Alex DeBrincat, I think, is the same size of him. 25 goals, 36 assists, Mr. Tap, this year.
This year?
Yeah.
How about last year?
41 goals, 37 assists. That's what I feel is the same thing about that.
Coach,
32 goals, 24 assists. 41 goals, 35 assists. So again?
Look up Ovechkin. And look at his career. Yeah, look at his career stats. There's a huge discrepancy between the number of goals he has and the number of assists he has.
You'll be surprised, Mr. Attack. 660 assists and 822 goals. It's not like a big no,
it's
a big number there. Now, at 34 years old, he had 48 goals and 19 assists. That year, I agree with you. But if you look back, Mr. Tap, at 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, 24 years old, already there. 54, 46, 47, 54, 59, 53. All assists.
Yeah.
At his before 25 years old. When he got 38 goals, he got 27 assists. 32 goals, 24 assists. So it was an average of 1 point per game. That's what I said. Caufield never reached those numbers. That's why
it's hard to gauge.
For the $9
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but it's just hard to gauge because we don't know what his ceiling is. I mean, I think he can still round into a much more developed player. And I think once he's on a solid line where he's not the only one that's scoring, but you have maybe Dach or whoever plays with him that can also score, then you're going to see the assists go up as well.
The problem, he didn't prove it yet.
Personally,
that's the problem.
Right.
Like Pasternak, he did it,
agree.
$11 million. He got that one. So my point is back again. Montreal should give him a bridge contract, 3 million, 3 years contract, 7.75. And after 3 years, he's going to get 25 years old, right? 1 year before he becomes RFA. Now you know he's going to get those numbers. Then give him the mego, give him the money, give him an 8-year, 7-year contract at $9 million, $10 million because he just proved it. 50 goals, 48 goals, now 80 points, 75 points, 35 assists. Until then, I will not take a chance.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out as soon as the season's over. Because
I can find out one day. I'm going to say it again. You're going to tell me, Coach, he was right. Just kidding.
No. I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and say, now's not the time to skim out on a player that arguably is one of our better players, right?
And H, ask you, do you see any veteran being moved in the offseason?
Other than Edmondson? Well, if they can get rid of some of the contracts like Hoffman.
Calgary tied the game in the top.
4-4. That's the name of their game. Come from behind.
That's what's happening.
We'll
do you know who scored in the top?
Probably somebody on the fourth line.
Similar, Lucic.
Okay.
Yep.
He probably forced his way in. Okay.
The team want to, I know I'm going to laughing right now, but the Flames could be a troublemaker if they consist to play that way and they win. The fact they believe on themselves, you never know what could happen about that. But very interesting.
It's not a recipe for success. They can't keep allowing that many goals per game and taking their chance. Like their goaltending is still letting them down. You know that the shots on net tonight are something like
18 and 4.
Yeah, it's ridiculous in favor of Calgary. Their expected goals, they never get near their expected goals. If they did, right now they'd be in a clear-cut playoff position. But they don't do it, and it's, to me, it's mostly the goaltending.
Well, they've been that way all season.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Edmondson, who moved in the offseason, so that Anderson, Hoffman, Armia, and Adam. And that would bring me, honestly, where I think Montreal need to do something there because I think that's the biggest problem they have.
Yeah, Edmondson for sure. Anderson, only if a good deal comes along. Allen, possibly at the trade deadline time. Armia is going to be hard to move with that contract. Hoffman, they might have to eat some of the contract.
I see on that name right now, two team. I think Edmondson will be out, and then they're going to buy out Mike Hoffman.
Hoffman, yeah.
I don't see Mike Hoffman back with Montreal Canadiens at any level. I don't see that. They're going to buy him out. They won't tell him, that would be one. The key behind Jordan Armia, because he has 1 more year to go, I think they would keep him for 1 more year. That's it. That's all. Or they could be a package deal with him or somewhere else. The key for me is really Anderson.
Yeah. We got to remember they're losing a couple of free players to free agency, like Drouin will be gone.
Yeah,
obviously.
but look what I did for you, Mr. Natap.
Yeah. Nice.
Caufield, Suzuki, Anderson, Hoffman, Dach, Gallagher, Armia, Devorek, Sokoski, and Evans. We have only 2 spots. 4, Pesada, Pitlick, Island, Eneman. All right? And I do not put RHP on that list yet. So if you want to add RHP right there, Mr. Natap, at the bottom here, all right, I will try to get it right here. RHP, listen, right? I apologize. I put, hold on. I put RIP. Anyway.
Keep in mind, though,
that gave him
Coach,
only 1 spot over there to open up for, look, the player we got.
Yeah, but I could see Dvorak probably being a trade pick as well, depending on how we draft. If we pick up, like, obviously, if you are fortunate enough and you pick up Bedard or Fantilli, I mean, Dvorak automatically becomes expendable because those 2 guys are going to probably start next year on your second line. So, I mean, it all depends on how they draft. I mean, there's all this talk for the last few months about Pierre-Luc Dubois, whether it happens or not. That could throw off the entire setup here. I mean, there's so much there's so many balls being juggled in the air that it's hard to predict based on that. Now, we can do it based on what we see here. And of course, you can make an argument for each one of those 4 guys that you put there. You know, Petzetta, Pitlick, Yolanin, and definitely Heineman fitting into the schedule, into the team. Evans is, I worry about Evans. I like the guy a lot, but he is so injury prone that he worries me whether he can play an entire season or not.
Yeah, I think they will keep him until next season. After he has 2 more years, Billy, at 1.7 or 1 more year. But I think after that will be not the recipes of the puzzle with that part, because at some point I see Suzuki, Dach, and Owen Beck, the center, that line, the center over there.
Yeah, Owen Beck will take over, yeah.
That will be the one over there. And I think Montreal Canadiens, I'm going to surprise you, maybe sign a left winger or a right winger, a number 5. Because they really believe what they got in front of them. I wouldn't be shocking about that one over there for that. But I'll just give you an idea, guys. If they don't make any trade, this is what you got next year. That I said no, coach, but that's what they have on this. They're all players, guys. They're all a contract next year. So they cannot say we cannot keep him. RHP is the only one right now. You can say Caufield. Caufield is going to sign. RHP is going to get a contract anyway. So this is the lineup for next season.
So where would you put into the equation guys like Roy and Kidney?
With that lineup there, they have to start at Laval.
Unless they really impress, right? At the training camp.
I will start at Laval, and the case behind that, maybe Owen Beck. I still believe Owen Beck is more in front of Roy. No, Roy is in front of Kidney, honestly. But again, Heineman and Allen. So if you want to follow a little bit more, I will give a chance maybe more at Heineman and Allen at the beginning of the season, and to keep those players going Laval to get some reps. Detroit Red Wings did it for years, many years. They send their young men at the Laval or at the Grand Rapids, and they keep their veterans up, or they give a chance for at 22, 20 years old. But again, like you said, it's going to be interesting because you have many routes
moving pieces,
go, right? Until we don't know what they're going to do at the end of the night. So fun to talk like that. We just assume about this. Coach, if you think Sokoski is NHL ready, Heineman, sure he is. He got a shot me, and we will see at camp how everybody does. But that's not guaranteed, guys, Sokoski with Montreal next season. Exactly. I think they will keep him. But if ever we see some base, we see some player the second year, Mr. Top drop. Look, Lucas Raymond not play the same level he played. Zeder is another one over there. It's normal. That's what they are. So I think they will keep him. But it could be a little bit difficult year for him. He's still on the development for the Montreal Canadiens. So
Yeah.
patient with him. Thanks so much for all the light we got. Double, triple A, so Caufield maybe $8-9 million for 6 years. Larkin has a hat trick for KLS. Yes, is 31 of the season. Big night, the May 8th, Mr. ENORATP. Don't go nowhere. Tell your wife already. Tell her no dinner. We're going to go the 9th, but not the 8th. The 8th, we cannot go. Your head cannot go. We
That
have to be
sounds
at the
good.
Hockey
That's
Nation
good.
Live show, Mr. ENORATP. About that.
Let's do a 24-hour podcast.
Here we go. Mr. RG Constance gave us some update. And I went, wow, an updown discount allowed. Well, sure. I'm back. Rick, welcome back in the house. 6 years is a safe contract. Gary. Terry, good scorer. Go there. Be careful. Not sure how long Prochite lasts. Very few of it look good. Caufield, $7 million for François Pitt. Caufield, not what that much, not even close. Don't make the mistake, Montreal. 6.5 been the best for Caufield, François. Kaprizov, Robinson look like a too young one. He will do it long time. Terry. Caufield equals superstar. Rick, not too Manahan. I agree with you. Caufield not proven and probably gonna be injured a lot. Steve G. Reduce rate at $1.6 million. I agree on top. It will sell your tickets. Complete for season. But at the end of the day, guys, in Montreal, you don't have to sell tickets. They already sold anyway. But I understand. Will offer a $6 million for 3 years. So if Caufield is for the deal, it would be able to collect at 3 years. It's fair for both sides. A great point, Francois, but it's underpaying for what you see in NHL. I will give you an example, Francois. Josh Anderson, 5.5 contract per year at 23 goals per season and 32 points per year. So the Caufield, 500 more only for what he bring? I don't think so. For me, if you want to go a bridge contract 3 years, it's a minimum 7.5, Mr. ENORATP.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Nicholas says, stretchy for the $9 million. How much do you believe Caufield would produce? I believe more, and not sure how much, but defensive, not a peak. But Terry, it's not about his goal for me. It's a practicing and offensive. Can he become the 70 point like Suzuki and Dach? We don't know yet. That's what I'm a little bit careful to give him $9 million about that. That's again was a rumor was get out yesterday, by the way. Caufield will never get
there's no
85 points.
substantiation yet to it.
Yep. David Arthur is in the house, Mr. ENORATP. Welcome back in the house.
Hey, David.
To much better players. You are comparing Caufield to much better, Steve. I will disagree with you, Steve, what I said that because the other player they score the kind of goal like I mentioned now, maybe not Ovechkin, right? But if you compare him to Kiru, Thomas, Tarasenko, Nylander, Connors, all the players have been drafted for the first round and they've been productivity about 30 goals at their first year in the NHL. Now, the number, the point around them, they are a little bit better. So that was the point, my exercise. But I can understand your point of view about that. They are getting another year before saying him a long-term coach. Why they cannot another year? Because you don't want to give a one-year contract for both parties. They want to be secure because imagine Caufield got hurt again. That would make him a very bad situation to have a new contract after that. So just normal for that one to AAA. About that, 7 for 5, Pierre Martin for Caufield, too low, or 5 for 7 possible, 5 years, $7 million. Caufield scorer that is not more than 7.5 for Gary Cournoyer. We cannot come in Caufield this kind of players. I said bridge contract 7.5 at 3 years. Steve Caufield is a top-notch sniper. When he goes on the slump, he's ugly to watch, but is a non-other sniper. Trade Caufield for the Brincat, going to give you a better team at the end. Caufield can get the 100 point at points, just how good, how long the rating. Just don't say him a long-term contract with Caufield. Problem solved, Steve G. Randy N is in the house. Thanks so much to be with us. What do you think about Toronto losing so ugly again Detroit tonight? The end of the season, Randy, we have to wait until the playoffs start.
Coach.
That's pretty much it. I can tell you right now about this. What a sniper for Calgary. 3 years, $6 million for Caufield, for François Pitt, Lucic at pick, $6 million a year. Of course, I took that not into consideration. Gogol is a sniper. Everybody talk about this. Dwayne, get rid of all of them. I've been crying on social media about penalties hurt the locker room. CG, Dwayne, bye-bye. Salut François. Danny, François. No bonding. Dwayne, Rick is pick it up. Why the ad did not move any of those players at the dreaded line, I will never understand. It's because they are not easy to get moved
Not
since they
easy.
got everything. I can tell you one thing, they try. I can tell you that they try to move some players. And for Slate, you talk about Emerson, injury at the trade deadline, could not do it. Hoffman, there are nobody want his contract. And Anderson, the return was not what the Montreal was thinking about that. So that was the situation. That's the best thing I can tell you,
And
my
Monahan.
knowledge about what I heard about that. But great question to ask
And
her for sure.
Monahan was injured too.
Exactly. How about that one? Rick said, I go Mishkov over Fantilli.
Yeah, again, if they're both here, I agree with you, Rick. But depends where you are in your development. Like right now, I take Fantilli's what 6 foot, six
Six
foot
three.
three.
Here's my best answer. I
Yeah,
said to Rick. Rick is right at some point, but I would
yeah,
say all
yeah.
depends of the team. I would say to you
Development
like Columbus. If I'm Columbus, I go with Fantilli. You fix your problem at the center
right away.
right away. So that's the only thing I would say to you, Rick, about that. But otherwise, as a maybe better career a long term, I think Miska is going to get that one a little bit over Fantilli. But the necessity of Columbus, I think they'll be that way with there. So that'll be there. If Amir fresh from his COVID problem or he is still suffering from that, that would explain his poor season some extent. Yeah, so right, never recovery, guys, COVID for him, and he get other injury, but yeah, sorry. Coach Mishkov is playing at a tougher league, KHL. Uh, Aisha is going to for sure to be on the team next season. He is with the great program in London. Nice. Yep, so right about Mayu. I know he's a good prospect. That's about it from that list, Steve G. Belzil should be back next season. That zone. What do you think about that one with Emerson on top?
Should be back next year.
Yeah,
I
do you expect
doubt it.
Belzil back next year with the Montreal Canadiens?
No, no, I don't believe they
This is
will.
the
They'll
same
bring him
thing
back.
I was said earlier
It's
about
numbers,
Monahan.
numbers.
Same
Yeah,
situation. Older players, and it's time to turn the switch to get another development for the youngest player we got. I don't have to mention one name here, but what the way is, I think Montreal should get more time red for other players. Pierre Martin, I would take Mishkov third round. Amir, I have no excuse. He was good at World Junior Championships this summer. Alexandre about that. How the musical team leverage their power. Another bad year next year for the app. Yes, that's normal since get they rebuild, and that's what they're going to do about that one for sure.
but they'll
Another
build
two
on
years.
this year, just like they did this year. Like it's not necessarily a bad year if they can increase even 10 to 15 points from this year. I think that's progress. They're still in that development stage, right?
Absolutely right about that. I will say to you, Alexandre, for Armia, when you got Armia at the World Championship for 2 weeks, that's who he is. When he is hot, he's
Two
hot.
weeks
But when he's
for
cold,
2
he's
weeks.
cold. It's just the cold is a little bit longer. That's the problem with him.
Yeah.
But that's where you got him over there, for sure. Mr. Radov is in the house. What is the statistic about Kurenov, Mr. Natap?
I'm afraid he's going to be a part of the numbers game. I don't see him coming back. If it were a team where we didn't have as many possible prospects, we had more space, then he could be like an experiment that we undertake, and hopefully it works out. But unfortunately, he's going to be a victim of numbers, and he's not going to be on the team.
Great point about this for that. Ruda, we said to you, look about Kurenov, and we ask you this question, Mr. Natap. Think about this, like Kurenov, when he come with Montreal Canadiens, score 5 goals, right? With like 16 game, 18 game, 20 game right now. But you really believe Kurenov is a better player now today? He was like 1 month ago.
In Dallas, yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He become better. I don't think so. He show a lot of things when Montreal can say, you know what, we can do this with them. I don't see that. Unfortunately, I don't see a player where he changed a lot to prove he can play with Montreal Canadiens
Yeah, I agree.
for that. Now, it all depends. There's another player, I believe, Mr. Natap, like Burju Javi, are going to finish with KHL in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I don't see any sparks where they can develop and they say, wow, you see that? He can score the 25 goals per year. I don't see that right now.
Well, this is multiple teams now for him,
Yeah.
right? And Puljujarvi now is his second team, and he's still not producing. I think once you hit a sweet spot in terms of your age, you can no longer say, "Oh, well, he's still got potential." It's not going to happen. If it hasn't happened by about 26, 27 years of age, chances are it's not going to happen at all.
If you have to decide on the whether a player need to go down to Laval or stay in NHL, you got the wrong player, sir. But it all depends, Steve. Yeah, some players need to develop and the American Hockey League. Some of them are. Everybody is different, Steve. You cannot judge everybody the same way because everybody have not the same pattern. Some have Pacioretty score what 300, 400 goals. He been to American Hockey League. Many of them go to American Hockey League before. Shea Weber, I think he believe he had played 40 game. It's just fun route about that, Steve. I put Mayo ahead of Hudson for Rick. He said for him.
Different kind of defenseman.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Different. Why did not do that after 50 into the season? Is Mr. to me, Nicholas. The defense's own coverage possible. Keep Pesada for his fifth and is a great team player. 30 points is a dwarf for him, Pierre Martin.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to keep him too. I think the guy wants to be here. I think 30 points would be doable for him. And like you said, he does bring that physicality to the game. But again, we talk about the numbers game, right? Is there going to be room for him? If there is, it's obviously on the fourth line, and maybe he's the 13th forward where he gets brought in at certain stages to give other players relief.
First of all, thanks to God. Thanks so much to be a subscriber of the Hockey Nation Show. Very kind of you. No.
Welcome.
No, of course you like to be disagree with you, both of you. You're never going to set Michael Pesada guy score 30 points in the show. Never. Remove this on your head already. He played 8 minutes per game.
Depends who he's playing with.
He played 8 minutes. He's going to guys score 5-6 goals per year. Do you prefer to have Joshua Roy or do you prefer to have Michael Pesada?
Yeah, you got to be careful though, Coach, because Joshua Roy does not play. He's not the type of player that plays on the fourth line. And so, some players they know their
league
role.
Guys changing in NHL. Your four line have
changing.
To be smart, have the great players, and they have to be fast. It's not like
and they have to be
where you
they have to be
only
willing to accept that
that
role. They have to be willing to accept that role. Like you got to figure somebody like Joshua Roy is not bent on being on the fourth line. I mean, this guy's
no. I'm talking about names. I can get Emin and Emin example.
I would.
Do you prefer Emin and Emin, or do you prefer Michael Pesada?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's not that I'm picking one over the other, but it's how they fit. Like you got to look at contracts. Number one, obviously you don't want to be putting somebody on the fourth line that's going to make, $3-4 million.
No, and Emin is at $1 million, so it's not a big deal.
No, I'm saying, but he won't be there very much longer. Like down the road, he's going to be commanding more than $1 million. Whereas Pezzetta, I think we're looking at the limit in terms of his wages, salary. The other thing is, how do they perform? Like that fourth line typically should be about energy, bringing energy to the team. Yes, you only play 8 to 10 minutes a game, but if you can come off that particular shift and you're either even or you're at +1, then you've done a great job. The key is not to be -1 when you're on in those 8 to 10 minutes. during that time spot. And he's not the kind of guy that hurts you defensively, and anything, you can't rely just on Jack Eye as well. Now, I'm not saying, go and find a spot for him. I just say I would like to see him be there.
Calgary score, Mr. Tap, 5-4. Michael Stone score a slap shot, beat the goaltender for Anaheim, Mr. Tap.
Unbelievable. The biggest horseshoes out there. Calgary.
40 shot tonight, Mr. Tap, by the way.
That's okay. We'll have to take care of business on Wednesday.
I told you all week, sir. I guess nobody believed me. Nobody said. I said Calgary is going to make the playoffs. So, but no. It's going to be Winnipeg.
It's going to be Winnipeg.
Very interesting right now. With that W now, they are 2 points behind Winnipeg. And Calgary is going to get 4 Ws for last one. The biggest problem that one, Mr. Tap, the time they win, the Nashville right now don't do nothing. Whatever they try to win, they come back on that one. Now, related to the same, Mr. Tap.
They play each other.
They have 2 games in hands. But Seattle Kraken, guys, is only 1 point in front of Winnipeg.
They could still fall.
They can fall apart. If they would be really sad for them, but...
No, not really. They've only been in the league 2 years. I don't think they'd be overly upset if they didn't make the playoffs.
Anyhow, let's move on to the next subject. Thanks so much, David. To that, Coach, can you please decide to go to Laval for the playoff to build their skill? You can only do this if they are on the roster for Laval. So we have 2 players from Montreal can go there. It's Jesse Allen and RHP Willie. That's only 2 players they are already to get. You're welcome, Wesher. John Wayne. John is back in the house. Hong Kong Joshua or Ridley Kipney out of the next camp. I agree. I agree. It's for me. I had difficult time with Riley Kidney. I was so disappointed about him last season. I still not there recovery yet about Riley Kidney. I understand we accomplished everything like that, but he was so played badly last year at the rookie camp, at the development camp, at the training camp. We barely see him. I don't said he's not a good hockey player. I just want to see him again. Like, I don't want to. I'm still leave on my last impression of what I saw from him, and I'm still struggle to put him right there. It's not negative what I said, Mr. Natal. It's just what I see about that. Look, il est bien d'accord avec Pesada. But again, you got, you consider Pesada 30 points. If you consider him, you need Michael Pesada to be a good team in NHL. We are bad. We are bad. Because if all the players we have, top prospect, everyone, and you keep Michael Pesada, he disappear very quickly about that. Just for me, it's not, you cannot play with Jake Evans and Michael Pesada when Montreal be contender in NHL. So back to that question, do you prefer to give a spot to Joshua Roy, Riley Kidney, Emily Neiman, Jesse Allen at the 4 line, or to play with Jake Evans and Michael Pesada?
Yes. Again, Coach, I agree with what you're saying. I just hope that whoever you give that position to is the type of player that will stand up for the team, because that's part of that development, that chemistry that you want to develop, that brand. And Pezzetta will stand up for anybody on there, and he's not a liability. It's not like, oh, the guy can't skate, or you'd be lucky if you get 3 goals from him or 10 points. Like, this guy can put up the points if he's given more ice time. And the fact that he'll stand up for any player on that team makes him a bit of a unicorn. I don't want to see a team that's going to get pushed around and nobody's going to walk in. And don't say, oh, well, Jack Eye will take care of everything, because that's the reason why he's injured today. But
which player in NHL is scared of Michael Pesada? Which time Michael Pesada beat someone in NHL?
Which time has Pezzetta backed down from a challenge? He took on Reeves,
he looked like Terry Harper. He lost most of the fight.
It doesn't matter if I'm the player that got hit by Reeves and somebody gets in there and defends me like that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be thankful to him, and I'm going to play harder for the team.
But again, we're not there anymore. Hockey is about skill and talent. It's about fast. It's about talent. It's about skill. That's what we are right now. And we try to keep the Pesada in the lineup. You guys, you want Pesada to be a part of the future with the Montreal Canadiens. You want him to be a part of the Montreal, want to be a good team in NHL. I see better Sean Farrell. I see better Joshua Roy. I see better Jesse Lennon. I see better Emil Henneman. I see better Riley Kidney. And I can go all the way like that, what we have.
And I agree. And I agree.
Pesada on the 4 line.
No, and I agree with you 100%. All I'm saying is whoever goes in his spot better be willing to be part of the team in terms of team toughness. Because the last thing I want to see is somebody takes a cheap shot at Suzuki and nobody steps in to do anything.
Yeah, but Josh Anderson would be there?
Josh Anderson is very streaky in terms of when he does that, Coach. There's many times he could have defended this team, and he has not. How many fights has he had this year?
Not many.
You could probably count it 2.
1 or 2?
Yeah. It's not like Jack-Eye that any time something happened, he was the first one in the scrum.
But my point is like, Pesada don't scare anybody. For me, it's like, it's not a kind of player you can count on him. On what the role you want to give to him. Now, I can understand about this. He can accept his role, everything like that. That's understand. But that's not the future with the Montreal Canadiens. By the way, Calgary just won the game. It's on top. The game is over.
Yeah. Okay, so it's down to how many games? 5? 5 or 4?
5 left? Now. For them, they have 5 games to go.
And same thing with Winnipeg. The difference is Winnipeg is up 2 points, and they also have the tiebreaker, the row. Yes. So Calgary
is back on 1 game. Is a game against Calgary, Winnipeg?
Not enough. Yeah, that's a big one, but it's not enough yet, right? Because then Calgary still has to at least tie 1 more and hope that Winnipeg loses to overcome the difference.
Let's move on. We have can't wait to see our best 6'5", 200-pound goalie, that athletic, John White. We can see him very soon for that. What Gabe Pitlick away, Pierre Martin, he has 1 more year contract, but yeah, Pesada is the best starting forward for us. If Montreal trade Caufield, it would have to be in the deal for better or Fantilli, François. We are stuck with Armia, Gallagher, bad contract. It would be an expensive 4-line, Gary Cournoyer. Yeah, Armia is still have 2 more years, and Gallagher for 4 more years after that. We can hang in there a little bit more. Fantilli is the next super power forward, François. Yeah, Fantilli reminds a different player. Like I said to you, the closest one for me is Rick Nash, François, on my opinion, in NHL. Imagine if Sokolsky went down to Laval and he scored like an element, people would go insane. Rick Bengal, you're right, because the people are, they are excited very quickly about this. Fantilli is not ready for NHL yet, Steve. I'll be disagree with you. I would say Fantilli next year is going to be in the NHL. He's going to returning in NCAA, in my opinion. Now, we take time, like everybody else, for sure. Thanks so much, RG, for Anaheim information. Rick Bengal, for sure, that's what he should been in this season. Too bad for Belzile, for AAA. Yeah, unfortunately, I have too many players. I think the Dvorak and Hoffman get moved this summer. It's very possible, John, it could happen about this one. But I keep Belzile at Laval with the good play. No problem. I said Fantilli to the Tkachuk brothers.
Is he equal to the
Tkachuk brothers? To the Tkachuk brother.
It's hard to say because we haven't seen really Fantilli at the NHL level yet, whether he's developed. I mean, he definitely has the tools for it, I would say 100%, and possibly even at par, but eventually, right? You don't expect to see it the first year.
We said to you, skill-wise, yes. Aggressive, no. Yeah. Competitive, no. They are really unique, the Kachuk players. So if you expect Fantilli to be the same style of player, no. Think about Rick Nash. That's what Fantilli you get from him. That's exactly the same 6'3", 6'4", forward, power forward, can score, great hands, everything like that, but not at the same prototype like a Kachuk on the same language, on the same prototype the player they are. Not many are really like them, by the way. Emerson Hoffman
They're
and the work
rats.
probably an up trade this summer, possibly Allen. I was just curious about that, Mr. Tap. If you trade Jake Allen, if you trade the Warak, who is going to be the third center for the Montreal Canadiens? Are you comfortable to go with Jake Evans?
No, that's why I say no. I'm not comfortable with that. But that's why I said earlier, a lot of it is going to depend on how we draft or what happens during the summer. I mean, you could see a trade. Like if let's say again, just to bring it up because it's a name that has been around for a long time. But if they pick up a Pierre-Luc Dubois, yeah, of course, Dvorak becomes expendable, right? No problems. But if you get a Bedard or a Fantilli, yeah, Dvorak is expendable.
Yeah, but that's only the case because I don't see Pierre-Luc Dubois third center with Montreal Canadiens. So you still
Yeah,
need
but
a center as the third center. I don't think so. You have anybody right now can take a spot at the Christian Dvorak.
true. But then did you anticipate Dach being here this year? We didn't see that coming, and it happened.
No, but if you have Pierre-Luc Dubois, do you put him at that third center? So Pierre-Luc Dubois does not fix the situation with Dvorak. Will Smith is not going to play this year. He's going to be on the NCA. The only one can fix that if Dvorak out is Fantilli better. Otherwise, Montreal cannot get.
Yeah.
You cannot use Jake Evans as your third center in NHL.
No.
So, and for Jake Allen, the same situation. Are you comfortable to go with Primo and Montembeault all year long next season?
I mean, you could always pick up a goalie on the cheap.
That's the only thing you can get there.
Yeah.
And they are rare. They are rare. You can get Leskinen, you can get Riddich. But a goalie like the same level like Jake Allen, no, not many have.
I know. Well, Anderson, I hear, is available. So
Yeah. CJ maybe Fantilli is not ready yet, but it would be the perfect type of player for the Montreal, Francois. White, trade Edmondson. They have too many left defensemen in the Montreal Canadian organization. Except for Armiat, no excuse about COVID, can be consistent. It was the best line the right before he got injured. Mishkov would be Kaprizov, try this guy. Yeah, we said they can sign a trade him if an RFA or trade is right for the draft and sign a trade good enough. Grenab is lazy. Look, I agree with you. Emerson, Grenab, only Emerson knows. Edmondson does not fit well in how we played the team. Nothing against him is good, a specific system. Grenab not fighting to get the pocket floating. I agree with you about this one. Joshua Watt is a top 9 guy. I agree with you. He cannot be over Nick Suzuki. Rick Bengal, I think he talked about Caufield, I think. What another small guy, Wesh. I disagree with you. Why is not 6 foot?
no, I think he is. I think he's over 6 feet.
Well, not over, but I don't see him like a 5'10".
I thought he was 6'1", but I could be wrong.
He's 6 foot.
Oh, he is 6. Okay.
Yeah. 187. Yeah. So I don't know AAA what you said is a small players. Pessoa is one of the guys with the most hit in the NHL. Is in the top 10 for John Wayne for Pessoa. Round to compare Pessoa and what coach? Come on. No, I'm talking about rookies. Give some reps. I don't compare what as the talent skill wise. I'm just talking about the fact like you take a rookie or a player like out of the lineup to keep Michael Pessoa. For me, I don't get that way with that. Use as a 13, 14 player, no problem with that part. To be a part of the top line for the Montreal, I don't think so. That would be that way for him. Try to looking for someone else. NHL. Pesa is okay right now, but he is going to be out in 2 years. François. Coach, Pesa with Martinson is the better que you stat 25 points as dual ball for Sur now on the Canadian. Guys. Jesus. Guys, I have the stat right now. Michael Pesada, guys, 13.58 game this year. That's what he got. All right. Last year, he had 11 point and 51 game in NHL. So he had 100 game, 24 point. That's what Michael Pesada there. I don't know why you see him at 30 season goal right there, Pierre, about Michael Pesada. I don't see that. Now, I want to give you that answer about that one over there. Pipelers. Calgary is on fire. High Forest ticket price rising next year. Pesada is great, 12, 13 forward, great attitude. Even one scratch, he come back and with intensity. John, 13 player. Pesada is a good team. Would change the perception on him. About Michael Pesada, look at Forsen, he believe he's going to be with a great team. He's going to get
25
going
points.
to get more. Try to get more about that one. He would be better with other team. Wear down the other team. He finish all is it. It's hard. Go Gagare. Coach, another top question for you. What is the best four line in NHL?
Best fourth line?
Yeah.
Dallas is not bad. They have a good fourth line. I'm looking at, I mean, the Rangers fourth line is not bad either. Who am I missing?
Sorry, I was looking about that. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are a really good four line over there. Stefan with
they do, yeah,
right?
they do.
I think that's the team right there. They are really good, good four line over there. I think the Vegas Golden Knight would call Czar not a bad four line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
the four line for Lesson King is not bad with Lizat, Miko Win now. It's another four line over there. Not bad at all. For many years, the New York Canada have always been a good line, Mr. Tap, the four line with Martin, Clutterbach, and the center over there. I think that's the one, I believe. I don't know if you have other team.
I think Minnesota maybe as well.
Yeah.
Winnipeg's is not bad. Winnipeg's fourth line.
I would go with Minnesota for sure. Winnipeg is a better team between them. Calgary is solid, but none of them are very good. To compete with other teams, I agree with you about that. For that. Let's go about Pesada, François. Honestly, I like Pesada. Nick, I love this one. I lost Nicholas. Honestly, I like Patlock better than Pesada. But Pesada got the advantage on physicality and maybe morale, but skill, nope. For Martin, reality check about Pesada, but you by the coach about this. I'm going to take for the comment on my channel, Danny. Pesada does have beautiful question. Most forgetting player in Montreal prospect, Norlander.
Can you flash the question, Coach?
The one that player is really Montreal prospect forget then is Matthews Norlander.
Yeah, Norlander's definitely had a great year for Toronto. I mean, he's been probably one of their most consistent scorers.
They talk about Matthews Norlander. So Matthews Norlander.
Norlander. Yeah. I thought Nylander.
Yeah, Norlander. He got hurt for the last 2 seasons. He had very difficult time to reestablish himself. The talent is still there. It's just the physicality. I'm not sure about that and how he can carry on this for Laval. and with many concussion and then injury with shoulder, I can go all the way like that. But again, yes, the talent skill is still there. Can he keep consistent? Can he become the consistency? It's just a problem as Montreal have no spot for him anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not even in the minus one of the red with the plus minus John. About that. And again, if you think Michael Peseda is a great hockey player, play good on the forward line for the Montreal Canadiens, if you feel like Michael Peseda is going to be a great asset for the Montreal Canadiens and the next 5 years, and you feel he's going to get 30 points per season, awesome. For me, I don't see that. If you build your team with Michael Peseda on your forward line, and the next 5 years going to be a playoff team, I think we are on the wrong direction.
No,
that's what
I don't think
believe
that's
about Michael Peseda. Yeah, Michael
He's
Peseda, 600 player like him in NHL.
He's not in the future of Montreal's organization in terms of where they have to go. But let's not kid ourselves. They're still in a couple years of rebuild. So why not put somebody like Peseda there until your prospects are ready and to come and play at that position? It's like having, sometimes you go out there and you say, okay, I'm going to go and get this 40-year-old Riddick as my backup goalie. Why? Not because he's going to make your team better necessarily, but somebody has to take some rubber while your number one goalie's, taking a rest. It's the same idea here. You need somebody that for a couple years will take the bruises for the betterment of the team until your prospects are ready.
So, do you use Raphael Harvey Pinard or you use Michael Peseda?
I personally, again, it's not a matter of liking because
I think no they spot all anymore. Rank. You have Pierre-Luc Dubois, you have Mike Hoffman, Sikorsky, Caufield. You can all those lines if you Pierre Dubois, Brian. But at the end of the day, if you're going to remove a good prospect for the Montreal Canadiens, Jesse Allen, Emile Heinemann, Joshua Roy, any prospect you want to mention there, and to keep Michael Peseda over them. So what you do right now, you don't develop, you regress because you don't give a chance to the young prospect you have in your organization to keep a spot for 8 minutes for Michael Peseda because he brings something nobody brings on the table. For me, this is not the way to develop a foundation in hockey. For me, I don't see that. But that's the way I believe hockey. But if you guys believe Michael Peseda is really important for the Montreal Canadiens and your lineup compared to any other prospect we have, I don't know. But I think for me, it's
okay. So let's put it this way: why can't he be your 13th forward?
But he's out of the lineup. I don't say to remove him.
He's not.
But he's out of your lineup.
If you need him
to play 30, 20 game, 25 game, I don't have no problem with that part over there. But he's not in the first for Montreal Canadiens. I would prefer to have Jesse Allen, Emile Heinemann, and my lineup, 13 players at Michael Peseda.
Yeah.
And if it would be the same thing I would say to you next year with Jake Evans. I would prefer to have Owen Beck on my lineup right there, Joshua Roy in the lineup right there, compared to get Jake Evans in my future with Montreal Canadiens. And it's going to be there in 3 years, Mr. I would say to you, it's time to remove Gallagher and keep another player right there. And that was the will run all the time. You have right now what you have in your hands. That's happening this year. But at some point, you have to disconnect with players. You have to get always better and better and better. And your forward line,
I agree.
That would be the way.
I agree. If he's part of the equation and he's your 13th forward, then you're still getting your rookies in there, and you're also bringing them in at key times, like when you have tougher games during the course of the year.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Look, Lafortune said we don't see RHP if there are not many injuries. You're absolutely right. Look, Lafortune, the injury opened the door for many other players in this organization. Alex Belzil is another great example. It could be Justin Barron too, possible there. Most players we talk about that one over there. Question about this about Matthias Nylander. I'm just not sure about this going to be get there all the way. They will get pulled by the toughness team for sure. He's not even in the minus. One of the rare players positive in the minus. But I think we got that one over there. Go Flame, go for this. Pesa maybe not with many fight, but he sure love the scrap about that. I see with that one over there. Then we get there. See another get it. Coach about Pesa about this. Dwayne about speed and skill. About that. And Madison, Pesada, Brazil, Kovacevic, and Harvey Pinard are the only one with a positive plus minus. About that, John. How much are you into minus a plus, Mr. Nata?
I'm not a big proponent of it. I think it has some relevance, but it all depends, how much ice time you have and who you're playing with, what circumstances you're being brought onto the ice for. Like it's hard to have a plus when you're playing a lot of penalty kill. Let's say, put it that way, right?
Or but when we have Stu Picasso in the house, Mr. Nata, we feel better because Stu is back. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We can give out a guy, Justin.
He's been here for a while, though.
Ready Kidney is too small. Comment Luc Lafortune about that. We wait for Jack, Pierre Marchand. We try to pick up the people. Coach, you want a full intermediary? Get rid of your fighter. The doctor will make a Fortune go, Pesada go. Pierre Martin, again, if you again, I will say it again, if you believe Montreal need Mike Pesada and your lineup, and because we need fight, all good. But don't tell me next year, next following year, the next year, why we don't win in Montreal. But because we maybe prioritize player like Pesada versus talent players in the Montreal Canadiens. That's what I just said to you. Just what I tried to explain to you. For me, you not build a team around Michael Pesada. But that's not what I'm looking for about that one over there. The time we have where we at, not a problem. But in the future with Montreal, Pierre, I don't see Michael Pesada to be an element important for the play. He play his role with the Montreal Canadiens. They are better player than Michael Pesada, in my opinion. Better.
Yeah.
But everybody have their own opinion about that one over there. Cheka is a GOAT. He is a real warrior. Does not pick a choose. John. Yeah. Overpay for your star. Keep the fighter. Nobody is scared. At the foundation for a great cut candidate. Sorry, but I see Coach point. I agree. You still need some guys with size and grit on your team, even if he's not a tough guy. Otherwise, the rat will take all the kind of liberty. I'm so right about this since you get. But again,
13th player, I'm telling you, that's what he has to be. I think we can all agree on that. And we can move on. 13th player.
We have a lot of very intriguing prospect, a lot of potential there. You're absolutely right about this one. Look, Kidney is a 6 foot. The fourth line play half of the minute of then the first line, Simon fourth line, and the road energy. Gary, about that one over there. You're right, Gary, but Montreal does not play its time management properly, Mr. Nata, I will say to you. And I will say that to you, why? Because I think they let play the first line too many minutes versus many teams are really good and they really do well as a coach. It's when they play their four-line role all the time.
They roll four lines.
Gallant is one of them. And the one I was talking about, Rob Brendamo really rolled his line. John Cooper rolled his line. Barry Trotz rolled his line. For me,
but that comes with experience in terms of coaching.
Yeah. I don't blame Martin St. Louis. Again, the personnel, the player you have is not good at the end of the day, right? You have Zuski, but you don't have anything after that. You struggle about that. But I think a team look better when you roll the four line about that.
Yeah, you roll your four lines, and if need be, in the third period, you shorten your bench, and you go with your top three lines.
And again, Pesada have grit. Pesada is a scrapper. Pesada have a grinder. All good with that. Why not great? When someone told me he's going to get 30 points in NHL, and he could beat that one over there, I don't see that. Fantasy can lay the body. He has character on him. John, I agree with you. I really like him for that. You need to get going. Montreal goalie would be nice. Steve G need a goalie. Coach Fantasy got character. No push over. I don't say I know character. I just said I don't know, Mr. Tap. Who can you
You
consider?
got to choose your words properly, Coach.
No, but who do you use, Mr. in our tap? You can compare Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk in NHL.
You can't. Those guys are unicorns, right? Like there's a reason why Florida traded Huberdeau to get some kind of character coming into that lineup to give them to have them ready for the playoffs. And you know what? If Florida makes the playoffs, you can almost single-handedly thank him for it.
Yeah. But again, I just feel like, I don't see Fantilli that's kind of prototype player like the Tkachuk brother. I think nobody close. You can mention Tom Wilson, but who would make 100 points per year? The Tkachuk guy elevate the team to the next level by the play on the ice. And we don't have those kind of players in NHL with toughness like them. That's why I try to sharing that, Mr. I'm nothing like, I don't see Fantilli that way right now. Now, he can become, I don't know. But I don't see this, what I saw with Michigan, his career. Habs should start Allen. The team need at least one more bad year to get those prospects. I think Montreal, Mr. Natal, would be good if they can pick top 10 next year again. Carlson and Smith also reign the top 5. John, the rack is consolation prize. Dubois would be a number 1 or 2 if it comes to the will push Dach to the wing. Coach, do you think Boston, as good as we don't need tough guys on their team? About that. Yeah, I will give you an example. Pierre Martin.
They're team tough. Boston.
All right. I will tell you one more thing about that. Brent Frederic, 11 overall pick in NHL. Is it better Michael Pesada or not? Nick Foligno, how many years in NHL? What kind of player he been in NHL? That's the 4 line over there. You want to get another one? Attaway. That's the 4 line in Boston right now. And the 3rd line, you have Taylor Hall. On the 3rd line, you have Charlie Coy on the 3rd line. So we don't back where Michael Pesada can play on that lineup over there. What Michael Pesada can do to Boston Bruins to become better at the end of the day. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's
but those
what I want to mention to you. Do you think Michael Pesada with the Tampa Bay Lightning is going to be at the play with Corey Perry and Pat Maroon? No close. No close.
No.
No close.
No, but that's what we were saying before. Each of those guys you named, they're guys that are willing to step up and defend their team. Not only are they better hockey players, but they also go in there and they have grit. They have sandpaper.
Yes, Mr. Tap, but we talk about Michael Pesada. We talk about guys, he only play in NHL because he play with a bad team. He will make not 20 team in the NHL right now and any lineup in NHL. That's what I try to bring you guys. To let you know, Michael Pesada, they have 1,000 players like him and around and American Hockey League and NHL. He's not going to be on the most of the team lineup in NHL. That's what I try to bring you guys. You try to sell me is really important players. He's not. And a good team. He will not be the Tampa Bay. He will not be with Carolina. He will not going to be with Vegas Golden Knights.
We're not discussing that. We're discussing just Montreal. And Montreal is not at the same level as those kind of teams. In Montreal, could you name one player that will come in and give you the same? Yeah, they'll give you more points and they'll be better hockey players with more skills, a greater roof. But will they give you the same kind of grit that Pesada is going to give you? And you need that in a team that is developing, not a team that's a Stanley Cup champion or a challenger. I get that. He doesn't belong on those kind of teams. But in a team that's developing and a team that is very psychologically fragile if they don't develop to where they need to be, you need somebody that's going to step in and defend the team. And I don't see anybody right now anyways. Maybe when Logan Mailloux comes up with Jack Eye, like they can do that. But Right now, I don't see it. And so that's why I'm saying he's your 13th. On Montreal, he's your 13th forward.
So again, Montreal for
That's
the 13th
he's your
forward.
13th
What you said the
forward.
last part, I follow everything until the last question.
I said on Montreal, not any other team. On Montreal, he's your 13th.
Yeah, I follow your
forward.
story about that. I thought you asking me question at the end.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Because already what Sean said, Beck might be the third center, and also I still 2 or 3 years away. Why not to play the 2 young goaltender until they get what you want about that? So he said, why not to trade Allen and let play Primo and Montembeault together. That's what happened about that one. I try to get, you cannot put Roy on the 4 line. Come on. I not said you put Roy on the 4 line. I just said you use better skill. You can put Emil and Eman on the 4 line. You can put any other players. At the beginning, Luc Lafrenière played on the 3rd line for many years. He played on the 4 line many times with the New York Rangers. That's what they have, the lineup. When you have a full line, you don't start at that top line over there. But again, compare my 4 line. I would make you a 4 line, guys, without Pesada tomorrow night. I will show to you why my 4 line would be better without Michael Pesada and Jake Evans. Quickly, Owen Beck. Owen Beck right now with Emil and Eman and Giselle Eman. Owen Beck with Joshua Roy with Emil and Eman. I don't need Jake Evans. I don't need my Pesada right now. I want to develop my rookies.
I just hope they stand up for the team. That's all.
All right. You can put Sarkowski if you want to, the 4 line if you have to. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. McCall is 5'11", one of the best defensemen under the decade. Size does not matter much about that one over there. Not all the time, safe, but at some point you need size. It's been proved in NHL when you make the playoff, you need bigger defensemen beside him, beside those players. But you're absolutely right. For a specific players, the size is not always the most of them. Just glad for the still about this. New York Canadiens have a good 4 line. You're absolutely right for many years. Now they struggle a bit more, but Montreal had some tough choice to make with all those young prospects. We go for 3 offensive line and 1 shutdown. François, possible. Is better player que Patrick Maroon, Gary Cournoyer? I don't get there, but I just express about this. What's going on with Mazar? What is doing to do badly? Is it the acclimate to the NHL style ring, or is a bad team, just bad character, or simply bad year? Mr. Natap, about Philippe Mazar.
I don't know. I saw quite a change after, if you recall, earlier on in the year when he took that really bad hit, and it looked like he was severely injured at the time. And I've seen a bit of a sort of a tendency in his game, like a lag in his game. He's not taking the chances he was earlier on. And I wonder if that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I would say all together what you said, Nicholas. You can put this in combination together, right? I would say the worst case is like the really bad management, coaching staff, and bad environment inside that team. You have fight between players, fire the coach over there. It's not a place to play hockey over there. That's not said an excuse, but that's not help the development, everything like that. And I don't know how they run the team over there, but what I saw, what I heard, everything, it's not looking good over there. A little bit what happened with Peterborough, Pete at some point. That's obviously for the Rangers over there, Mr. Enartap. I just want to add what you just said about that. So for that one, look, Bezil, Pesada got better. I find they click well together. Are you agree, Mr. Enartap?
Can you show the question, Coach?
Bezil, Pesada click together.
Yeah, they did. But
they're looking great in Laval, Mr. Enartap. Not in Montreal. I'm just kidding.
And that's where they will end up.
Just kidding, Mr. Enartap. About that one or that. Barron does deserve to be a top 6 player. Mr. Enartap, Triple W said that.
he doesn't deserve to be in the top 6. I if I don't know. I like the improvement I've seen in him since he came back from Laval. I would have agreed with that at the beginning of the season, but right now I think he's in the top 6.
Yep, sorry about that. A great comment, Nicholas, about the fans. So then, Alexandre, we need a healthy scratch player next year, or we not put a rookie there. Pesada is the perfect player to do this on the stay good mode about that over there. He's better to Mike Hoffman, for sure. I can do that. Begun when the injury come back, to be honest. Pesada, one of the point, yeah, top line garage league. Jamaican 2 days. The Women World Hockey Junior. Here we go. Thanks so much. I have no respect for Pesada. Wow. And again, it's not because of the respect I have. I just show to you, look, Michael Pesada, for me, is not the first show with the Montreal Canadiens. And he's not going to be a part of the Montreal Canadiens a long term about that.
When did the wheels come off the track? Like, I think every night, coach, this is the lovely thing about Hockey Nation. One player tends to dominate the conversation. A couple of nights ago, it was Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think yesterday was Gorton. Now it's Pesada tonight.
No stop. The top prospect play on the top 9 and not on the 4 line. You're absolutely right about that, Gary. But because what you're going to get in the future and the lineup, that's when we will get some point. You're going to get those kind of players, prospect with the Montreal Canadiens. Was the healthy scrap for that answer too. Zevlaka have knocked the door. Welcome back. RHP is the only one key show NHL level play for the Montreal Canadiens, I think. For that, no one is ready to take personal players. So let's see. You're absolutely right about this one. I agree with you. Look about that. Okay, for line all sub or players there. About that, as I said, pick it up everything. About that, the move is moving all the way up and down. About I'm going to take a shower. Here we go. Me too after that. Coach, just really about his air. Here we go. Coach, what do you think the Boston Bruins are winner or because they are tough and rough? What do you think about that, Mr. Tap?
Yeah, that's always been their identity, right? They've always, I mean, they're not the big bad Bruins of the old days, but they're a combination of players that believe in each other. They do have a lot of talent as well. Don't negate that, but they stand up for each other, and that's exactly what the point I was trying to make with Pesada earlier. You know, he helps out in that kind of development. For now.
We welcome back Joe Long and Jean-Bon Patat, Mr. Tap. Welcome back, both of you. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. Coach is taking compare that no make sense. Again, I tried to explain to you about Pesada. If again, I will repeat again one more time for everybody. If you, Luc Laperson, believe Pesada is a player, should be for the Montreal Canadiens, he has a very important role for the next 5 years with the Montreal Canadiens, not a problem. I will say to you, they have better player in NHL and American Canadian, and the prospect Montreal Canadiens are going to have, or they have, better than Michael Pesada. That's it. That's all for Michael Pesada. I would prefer to develop players. Joshua Roy, René Kitney, Emil Henneman, Jesse Allen, Owen Beck, and everybody else at play in NHL over Michael Pesada. That's what I said. Now, I don't say they should play on the 4 line. He should play 3rd line, 2 line. I just said, if you want to give reps, I would prefer to put Slavkovsky over Michael Pesada. That would be what I want to develop. For me, it's more important to develop players at a young age playing in NHL over Michael Pesada. If you guys, you, Luc, or anybody else believe Pesada is your future Montreal Canadien, I said, oh my God, this is going to be... another team going to make the playoff in the next 5 years or 10 years. If you believe Michael Pesada is really important for the Montreal Canadiens, because that's what you said, Luc, on the chat. And again, I repeat, I don't need Michael Pesada with the Montreal Canadiens. I prefer to develop rookies, in my opinion, or Heinemann or Allen play over Michael Pesada. Because that's the for sure Montreal Canadiens. For that's just, I just said that to you, look, because you mentioned this 5 times. I compare players to everybody else, but I just want to give you, for me, I don't need Michael Pessoa on my team. Right now, he was not in the lineup 13 of the 15 game at the beginning of the season. Why? Because Montreal have a full roster, and that's the reason behind that part over there. Now, if you can use him 14 players because you feel like he said yes to everything, that's okay with me. But I don't feel like Montreal need Michael Pessoa and the future to play that kind of team they want to be. That's simple about that. I don't know if you agree with that, Mr. Natap.
Yes.
Here we go. Coach just skipped
No
the
more
Pessoa
Pessoa.
chapter is bothering trolling from Fox now. Coach need to be dependent, need a player like blah, blah, blah. Imagine Lafrenière. Luc said, imagine Lafrenière in Montreal.
It's not going to happen.
I don't
So
feel
let's
that
not
too.
imagine.
What a goal he did today,
Yeah.
by the way. Do you see the goal?
Yeah, very
Wow.
nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Who do you fit Allen with? Why, Mr. Natap?
Again, I don't know. I'm not sure I see.
If you said Pessoa,
I see.
Mr. Natap, we shut down the show right now.
Okay, Pessoa.
I think it could be
no,
a third line with DUARTE.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced with Yolan, and I'll be honest with you. I think he shows it in spurts. I like the fact that he does have some size and does get involved in the play. He's not like Armia where he's streaky that way. But I don't know. I just think we have other prospects that will surpass him in the ranking of our prospects. So you got to keep in mind, not every player that we draft makes it to the NHL, right? Some are meant to be permanent players in the minors, and that's fine. That's just the way it goes. Or they get traded, and maybe they make another team. It's not easy. It's not easy to dictate. I just don't see Island in our future.
Island, Mr. Natap, our 8 game this year have 39 points with 14 goals. He has already 16 points in 34 games.
Okay.
That's what he is. So he can produce for the Montreal Canadiens. And he play only 13 minutes per game. I think he's better what we think he is at the end of the day. But now,
would you take him ahead of RHP?
Not the same type of players, right? I think both of them can fit with the Montreal right now. Both of them.
Right now, yeah. Yeah, right now, I would agree.
Like
I
next
just
year, I
don't
will
know
see
in the
them. If you have
future.
spot, I think Eleanor could play a good asset like RHP with the Montreal Canadiens. But we'll see about that. We try to pick up the puck. I skip a couple of things, guys, because we'll be there forever. We have about 5 more minutes. Miss Santa will get there after that. Then I could name about something more from the 70s. Joe Long, absolutely. Don't see Eleanor future in Montreal, Francois. I don't say he would be a part of the future like a long term, but I would be surprised he's return with Montreal next season. With Montreal. The same way not everyone can
You'll be
play on the first
surprised?
line, not everyone play on the 4 line takes certain intensity. Yeah, I'm sorry, John, about this because I know about the concept of the team. About that, Luc Lafortune. I agree with you, Luc. I don't know hockey at all about that. Coach will still criticize Frenière on the third line and New York, but would be second line and Montreal. Coach will still criticize. Not a said about that. I don't talk. If you think Pessoa the same level like Alexis Lafrenière, look, I'm not agree with you about that one over there. Derek and Allen are both laid back but involved in the game and maybe fit good temperament and wise and complete each other could work. I think so. I think they played friendly, but they can complete both of them. If they were the big bad Browns today, imagine the super suspension. Jeff,
Suspensions.
welcome aboard. Thanks for being with us. That's what we want. So many caps, cup in 7 days. And it is a patchurity. Yeah, I can see that. Look about him for that one over there.
I
Just try
think
to
he
pick up.
means.
Go ahead.
I think he means he's just a temporary solution, like a patch that you put on, not Pacioretty. I don't think he was referring to Pacioretty. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I can see that for sure. I can see what you mean by that. So, but would be interesting what happening about this kind of him. I'm a Rangers fan. Joe Long is a Rangers fan. Talking about the fans, the Rangers. Mr. Tap, I want to give you before we leave a couple information about the standing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's have a look at it because things have tightened up yet again.
Here we go. Islanders 87 point, Pittsburgh 86
Yes.
point, the Florida Panthers
Yes.
85 point, Mr. Tap. And if the Buffalo win the next 2 games, Mr. Tap, they are the same number of points as the Florida Panthers.
That's right.
That's crazy. We think about that one over there, right? For that. And then on the other division, guys, Winnipeg is in front of Calgary by 2 points, 89 versus 87. Nashville is 84 points. Win the next 2 games, guys. They pass the Calgary Flame, and they are 1 point behind the Winnipeg Jet for the Calgary. About the Nashville versus Calgary.
The funny thing, well, not the funny thing, but the interesting thing is Nashville has 1 game against Calgary and 1 game against Winnipeg left.
Yeah, absolutely right
So
about
that'll go a long way to decide this division, as well as that head-to-head between.
All right, next
Winnipeg
week I think Winnipeg play Wednesday, Calgary, Friday, Nashville.
And Coach is doing that game live, folks. So join
Winnipeg
us.
Jets. Arizona guy is 1 point for the Montreal Canadiens with same number of point for the 27-28 tap. And the Flyers are 5 points for the Montreal. So I think Montreal only to have to be careful is about the San Jose Sharks. And San Jose about Arizona. San Jose, Mr. Tap, jumped from 32 to 29 with a couple of 3W for the last 3 games. And now is Chicago as the bottom of the standing, Mr. Tap, followed by Anaheim and by the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the battle of the battle between that part over there is San Jose and Montreal Canadiens. But he is way better. You have to pass it out because he could work on the team. About that. The final goal today was a beauty. Islanders are making up for the 3. Would be interesting about that, Mr. Tap, if they're going to make the team. About that. Mr. Tap, when you tank, not many teams tank properly or purposely. Chicago did this year. Toronto Maple Leafs did when they got Matthews. Edmonton did it for McDavid. Buffalo did it for Jack Eichel.
Right.
If you think about those 3 teams I mentioned to you, look their path. How long it take for them to become a good team, and how long they never make all the Stanley Cup at the end. So when you do purposely, it hurt your team at long term. Buffalo never recovered for that when they did that. The only 2 players stay with now when they draft for Jack Eichel is Okposo and Greg Hansen. Everybody else is gone over there. And I think for me, when you do purposely, it hurt your team because you trade all your players and then happening like that.
Yeah.
I think Toronto, yes, they are good, but they are not a team right now. They never find a way to make that team better.
And that's what kind of worries me about Arizona, because I think, they've, over the last 2 or 3 years, they've acquired all these draft picks, but, can they put it all together? That's going to be the interesting things.
Yes, it was not many teams tank properly. Yeah, I was said purposely, but absolutely about that one. There was welcome back.
You look at those bottom teams. They've all in the last few games they've lost, right? Like Arizona's lost 7 in a row. Montreal's lost 3. The only one that's won is San Jose, as you mentioned earlier. Anaheim has lost 7. Chicago's lost 8 in a row. At this point, it's pretty obvious. I'd like to see Bettman come out again and say, we don't tank.
We don't think until game number 75, Mr. Natap.
Oh, no, Coach.
You're absolutely about that one, Mr. Natap. We lost you. We are back for you, Mr. Natap. Apologies for that one. Try to get up my song there. I look like I lost two about that one. That's crazy about this, Mr. Natap. But again, Mr. Natap, I think we did pretty good. We still a bit longer, Mr. Natap. You can accuse me, but no, because the Luc Laforson put me out on my skin tonight, Mr. Natap.
Oh, we love Luke. We love Luke.
We love Luke for sure. About that one over there. Mr. Natap, what are you looking for this week?
Oh, you know where it's at, Coach. Wednesday night, the Jets and the Flames. It's going to be the big game.
Absolutely about that one over there. Great comment, Luc, about Montreal thanking Foster because of this. What a great night, Mr. Natap. Over 50 likes in the show tonight. Thanks so much to be with us. The Sunday night become the biggest conversation about the Montreal Canadiens. A lot of great people in the chat. We would thank all the moderators to be with us tonight. And of course, all the great people. And we're not going to talk about Pestada for the next 2 weeks, Mr. Natap. I'm getting excited about Pestada, Mr. Natap. Was a great chat, everybody. Thanks so much, RJ, and all the people. Chat tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Montreal, please Tuesday night. Until then, Mr. Natap, we want to remind you one more thing that he did it again for your time and the time you gave to the channel because you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. You have greatness inside of you, Mr. Natap. And by the way, Marco Larrabee left to go to watching, have fun to watching a bird, whatever is the last name or is the comic guy. But I want to mention you one more time, Mr. Natap. You cannot leave the building because we just got the Super Chat, Reverend, chop. Here we go, Mr. Natap. The super chat for Mr. Larry Lavallee did it for us tonight. Thanks so much, Larry. How nice you are for the Hockey Nation Live show. And we'll be back again one more time during the week. Don't forget to click us. Look at person, Mr. Natap. Go, Pez, go. About that one over there. We love you, Lick. Whatever you pissed me off sometime. Just kidding, buddy. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. Be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day, find a way dominate the first half of what Mr. ENORATP.
You're 2023.
He did it again. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. ENORATP. I can't wait to see you next time.
Good night, everyone.
The feeling that I've been fooled, deceived, and so misguided. Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I let go? I do really want to know what's going on now. Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show. What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I let go? I do really want to know what's going on now. Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show.
Oh,